Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Welcome back to Pixels and Pints. My name's Tom. I'll be one of your three hosts this evening. Joining me as usual, Pete.
Hello.
And Dan.
Hi.
And we're going to do one of our news and reviews episodes tonight. So we've got a bunch of news that we've kind of scrolled through the past, well, literally today, and some
the
reviews
last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Reviews of some movies, TV shows that we've watched over the last few weeks since we did one of these recordings. And at the same time, we're going to be trying some predominantly Aussie and NZ beers. Is usually our go-to for this, and using our very scientific rating scale to give our judgment on them. So yes, strap in. Let's fucking go. What are we drinking, gentlemen?
This episode entirely written by our fucked up brains and no ChatGPT, unlike the last episode.
Fair enough. We're back to our usual bullshit.
AI is not smart enough to be this dumb.
Definitely.
All right, who's drinking what?
I'll go first. I got One Drop Raw Witness, White IPA, 6.1%. I went down to Quakers Hill Cellars about an hour ago to see what they had. They had a bunch of One Drop ones, and I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. I haven't had many One Drop ones lately, so I had them. They were all smoothie sours or pastry this or something else. This
diabetes that.
Yeah. So yeah, I say that, and then I'll tell you what I got next. Well, you guys already know, but there was the white IPA, so I grabbed that. I don't mind a white IPA or the way they've done this white IPA, and there was one other, but it was an 8%er, so I thought I might stick with this one. So this is a blend of a wit beer and an IPA using Citra and lemon drop hop, and you definitely get that wit beer yeast character to it. It's super lemony with that. Tom, you'd hate it, but it's a really good blend of a really nice hoppy, citrusy, lemony character, along with the spicy yeastiness that comes from those European yeasts. I like it very much.
So it's like really Belgian yeasty?
Yeah, but super light.
Yeah, okay.
Super light. It's not anywhere near as heavy as some of the Belgian ones get, which was obviously the blend between the two styles, but really grassy and herbal as well with the use of those hops. I've never used lemon drop, but be an interesting one to give a go one day. Really nice, really refreshing. Probably the wrong time of year for this type of beer, but it's really a spring beer. It's excellent, actually. I might have to give that one a 5.
Ooh.
It's really enjoyable. Maybe not quite enough hop character to call it an IPA, but I think the whole blend of the two styles with the with that level of hop character works really well. So yeah, very enjoyable, refreshing, nice. Who's
excellent?
Next? What's next? Hope you guys are got as good a ones as this.
I've got an interesting one. I'll go next. I'll jump in. I've got the Range Pre-Loved number 3. It's a session pale at 3.0%. So a nice light one to start with today, because I had a bit of a little session last night, didn't I? So this is a session pale. Obviously, I'm guessing it's the third one they've done of this, but they've used pre-loved hops, Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy from their recent double dry hopped triple IPA, Nothing But the Juice. So they're second use hops. And
okay.
It's literally like it does feel like a second use. It feels it's so muted. Everything you'd expect to get from those kind of hop flavors, like everything just feels like it's kind of under a bit of cloth. Like you're almost like tasting it through like tissue. Like if you bite into a sandwich and there's still tissue wrapped around it, it's kind of like
it's just got that feeling of tissue paper on your teeth. Yuck.
Like it
I know you don't mean that, but
no, I don't mean that. But I mean more like it's just everything's just. No, I know what it is. It's like fucking seltzers. It's like someone thinking about the idea of the hop in the other room, and I'm getting the waft of it coming through. Like I get that with seltzers. Whenever you they smell them, it's so aromatic, but then you taste it and it's nothing. It's like someone's thinking about the fruit flavor in the next room, and you're getting the remnants of their thought. It's like again, same thing. This would be great in warmer weather. Like this would be a really good hot day beer, but on quite a bitter Sunday evening, it is not exactly the beer I was wanting or hoping for. But it's a nice way to start. It is, to use that word, it is sessionable. You could definitely have a few of these on a hotter day. But just this is a warm weather beer. Actually, I don't know when it was. It was packaged in March. So there you go.
Probably something I should have checked as well.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Dan's just blinded himself, so that was good.
Sorry, Dan, what was your rating, mate? When you finished, when you put the sun away in your office?
I'm giving it a 5. I think it's great.
Out of 5.
Yeah, I think it's
Power of the sun.
Spectacular beer.
Yeah, cool. Well,
Peter?
I thought I'd start with something light too, Tom. This is Brick Lane's Soul Trader Life Trilogy of Fear #1 for this year. This is a Hiracium Imperial Stout at 11%. And I've spent the last 60 seconds or so looking up what Hiracium is.
Yeah,
and
good.
And I wish I hadn't.
Oh.
Hiracium is the petrified and rock-like excrement composed of both urine and feces of the rock hyrax, which is like an oversized African marmot. It's like a cave-dwelling mammal. And apparently...
They have a cave troll.
Yeah, a little bitty one. Apparently, Hiracium, also called African stone, is an animal essence that's been used in perfumery for a long time. Like a couple of thousand years BC. 330 BC, so not a couple of thousand years. It's interesting. I mean, look, the Trilogy of Fear series are always awesome, but it does have, and I've let this warm up over the last half an hour before I cracked it. It certainly does have some almost floral bitterness to it. It's quite weird to wrap my brain around what it is I'm tasting. You obviously get the normal Imperial Stout. You get coffee notes, and I think that's contributing to the bitterness. But there's just a little bit of acidity to it that's definitely not coming from coffee. So I assume that's, I don't know, Mormont shit that I'm tasting.
I feel like we've just gone next level, eh? It just
couldn't come up with anything original.
I'm starting to rethink my life choices here somehow. That if this is now the path that
I just looked up
needing to go
the Hiracium as well because I wanted to see what it looked like, and then one of the first people also asked points on Google was, "What does Hiracium smell like?" And the answer is, the scent of Hiracium is between civet and castoreum.
Oh, thank God!
Thank God that clears that up. Fuck me.
Yes. So you didn't look any further of what those two were?
No, I'm now angry at Google.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that will be a spider web of random statements.
Yeah, I'm not going down that rabbit hole right now.
Yeah.
Something that might lead you to somewhere you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Just trying to think what I'm going to rate it.
You don't have to rate it now. You can sit on it.
It's certainly not my favorite Imperial Stout from them. So I'm going to give it a 4 because I'm actually, the astringency is almost too much. Like you really get that. Almost, it's not metallic, but it's almost metallic. You can tell it's on the same kind of spectrum of tanginess to it. I'm not really enjoying it, so I'll give it a 4.
They changed the labels as well, yeah.
They did. It's got a weird. It's like it's got a playing card on it. And,
it's like a tarot card.
And it is actually, it won't focus. It's actually embossed as well. I don't know what the embossing is.
I can see the embossing. I can't actually see what it is, but as the light glints off it, you
can you pull it off?
I could buy it a drink first.
No, just go straight for it.
Yes, I can pull it off.
Do you get a collector's edition card with your can of beer?
Yeah, I don't know what it actually says. It is embossed. It says end time. It's embossed in the bottom. It's cool because it's completely invisible from a like if you just look at the picture, you can't read anything, but if you skim over the embossing, you can just see it. So that's something that will entertain me when I'm madly drunk after drinking a couple of these.
See how slurry Pete goes at the end.
Well, I'm not going to try and get through 3, just so we're clear.
Oh, I thought you were going to try and get through.
No. Hell no.
I thought you were being ambitious.
No, I'm looking at the show notes. I'm trying to keep this episode under 2 hours. I don't think we'll have any problems, and I'm not going to drink that bloody quickly.
Yeah, 3 Imperial Stouts in 2 hours is a heroic effort, especially for
a school
cans.
night. Yeah. Big day tomorrow too.
Big day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get cracking into it then. Get through it all.
We interrupt this broadcast with some breaking news from the front.
So yes, when we recorded last time, it was just before the Games Fest announcement happened. Pretty underwhelming up until Xbox decided to come through and bring the goods. The Punchy McPunchface show was boring as batshit. The PlayStation 1 was pretty average as well. And then Xbox came and they brought the goods. You know, Doom, Dark Ages, which obviously got us excited. We saw the longest look we've had at Dragon Age Veilguard. We have Perfect Dark remake, and I really enjoyed Perfect Dark back on the N64. So, you know, it looks all right. They got AC Shadows, so they finally announced not announced, but they showed us a look at the latest Assassin's Creed. And then a favorite of mine, always, I wish it was on PlayStation, but Fable. I've always loved the Fable series. I think they're great little games. But yeah, they were like just the ones I picked out. I don't know if you guys had any others that really stood out for you from any of those.
I definitely went through the 3 phases of that Fassbender meme when the Doom Dark Ages came out, and you saw the Doomslayer pick up the shield, and I'm like, yeah, shield, and it's got spikes on it. Yeah, cool. Then he pulls the ripcord on it, and I'm like, yeah, okay, we've got no longer got a chainsaw. We've now got a shield that has
chain shield.
The chain shield that has the chainsaw around the outside, and then he threw it, and it was just like, oh my God, this is excellent. I am absolutely. I mean,
show me the real Doomslayer. The real Doomslayer.
I was in anyway. Yeah, exactly. I was in anyway, but having that as the new mechanic for this one is just the devs definitely know their target audience. They know what to do to tickle the fancy of the Doom people, and that absolutely tickled everybody's fancy. So I'm super excited for Dark Ages, but that was only the teaser. We don't get it until next year. So
I don't. Yeah, no, it won't come out. Until next year.
So
yes, the Doom people. Yeah, it's a belt buckle. It's not knuckled. I wish it was knuckle dusters. That'd be so good.
Break out the welder.
And illegal.
Yeah. That was definitely the highlight of the entire thing. For me, like some other games, it was cool to see, but nothing stood out for me quite like Dark Ages.
AC Shadows is set in feudal Japan.
Yep,
which we really didn't fucking need. Of all the places they could have gone, like
it's a bit too late, isn't it?
Yeah, between Ghost of Tsushima, we've had what was the game that you guys were playing that I didn't? Starts with Y. No, we were talking about a couple episodes. There's another
Road to Yumi or
that's
whatever
it.
it was.
That's it.
Yeah. That was
Road
a side scroller, but
yeah. But it's set in the same kind of feudal Japan.
Rise of Ronin just came out. That was another one. Yeah.
And then we've got a journey to a Journey to the West game coming out soon. The
Black Myth Wukong.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah.
This is going to be me tonight. I'm just going to fumble for words while you fill in the gaps.
That's China, but anyway.
True. Sorry, that's my bad. Yep, that's going to be me for tonight too.
No, but just going off what Pete's saying though, because we have had because that is a Souls-esque game, and they've had Sekiro and a few others in that Souls genre that are based in Japan. So I
just don't think we needed any more Japanese games. There's so many other cool places that AC should have already explored long ago and still haven't.
Yeah.
And they're just piling on. They're also in trouble for stealing somebody's
I saw this,
somebody's intellectual property. So apparently in one of the screenshots or the trailer, one of the two, they used the flag.
Artwork?
Yeah, so in the background of this screenshot, there's a flag, and the flag was stolen from a company that do Japanese historical reenactments. And it's basically the flag itself is original and theirs and registered. And it's a modern flag, like it was invented recently to resemble something that was traditional feudal Japan.
Yeah.
And so Ubisoft not only used it without permission, but they put it in their special edition book. So they've printed it for all of the collector's edition nutters, myself included. So
there's been a lot of the other controversies aside, there's been a lot of other historical inaccuracies that Japanese people have called out. So in the trailer, you saw the Yasuki and a couple of other chamberlains. I'm not sure what rank they are, kneeling in front of their lord, and apparently the formation of them was wrong. The directions of the tatami mats were wrong. Some of the archways or something about the doors on the buildings were Chinese design, not Japanese design.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's these sort of things where you go, come on, man! Like you
especially after
stealing a reenactment group's flag, they should have just hired them as fucking consultants.
Yeah, well, you look at Ghosts and just like how much praise it got for how like respectful it was of the Japanese culture, and then you get this just being like, well, you guys have wanted this for forever, so here you go.
Just milk the fucking cowboys.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
It is disappointing. I mean, it's just Ghost was, like you say, the praise that Ghost got. I mean, the Tsushima Island has adopted it and then praised them for like increasing their tourism to that area.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, come on, like it's like this is now the gold standard, and you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, it's Ubisoft, so I don't know why I'm surprised, but if you want to play this card and play in a game where they've already made the perfect game for that style, you need to pull up your socks and really bring your A game to that one. But yeah, they fucked it up.
But Ubi haven't been on their A game for, I don't know, 20 years now. Take us into punching.
It'll still sell millions of copies.
Oh, yeah, I'll play the shit out of it. But yeah, that's fine. I thought this was interesting. I didn't realize how much he was charging, but yeah, for the this is for the Summer Game Fest. If you want to have your trailer shown, this is the costs to be in Jeff Keighley's little
Punch
snippets. Punch Fest, yeah. So for a minute, it'll cost you US $250,000. For a minute and a half, it goes up by $100,000. For 2 minutes, it's $450,000, and US $550,000 for a 2.5 minute trailer to show it. There are other costs involved as well. If you wanted to have a booth per day, it was $20,000, depending on the size and equipment needed.
Fucking hell.
And you wonder why we don't see many indie developers at that showcase.
$500,000 for 2.5 minutes of advertising is just mental. It's not the fucking Super Bowl.
He's obviously trying to claim that it is for the gaming industry, like, taking over like from E3 and saying, oh, I'm going to make a better version of that. And then he does this. And that's why he deserves a punch to the face.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we'll keep on the Ubisoft train.
Yeah, going from strength to strength.
They claim they're still working on Beyond Good and Evil 2 in a yearly tweet around it. So they are still working on it, apparently. This came because they've just released the 20th anniversary edition of the original, which came out like a couple of weeks ago. They then did like a bit of this was in their showcase as well. They had an interview with whatever the CEO is, Guesmes or whatever his
Quasimodo.
She's something. Yeah, that's something that. And he did reveal that everyone should be excited about the AC remakes that are coming. So apparently they're going to go back and try and
polish the turd.
Milk the cow of some of the time periods they've already visited, or they're doing full rebuild remakes of older titles. Black Flag's meant to be the forerunner, but I don't know if they'll go back to AC2 and redo it.
Man, I wouldn't mind playing the original if it was properly treated and maintained the original game mechanics and expanded upon. But if they knew how to
rebuild the textures and character models and everything. Yeah.
Well, even if they wanted to expand the content somewhat, as long as it was respectful to the original game mechanics and style. But then if they knew how to do that, then their annual releases wouldn't be such massive fucking turds. So I'd kind of prefer them to leave it the hell alone.
Yeah. But we'll see. It was just in there. I thought it was an interesting little tidbit that they obviously haven't shown anything and said which ones they're going to, but who knows which one it'll be. But yes. And continuing on that, Magic the Gathering and the AC decks have been released. They've done a full collab. Had a look at them. They look pretty fucking schmick. And everyone's saying that the mechanism they've built using there's 2 different colored decks. I don't know much about Magic the Gathering, so I'm wading into unknown territory here. But they're like lovingly crafted. They're really well done. People are actually raving about it, and it's not just surprisingly not just a cash grab. Mashing these 2 things together, they've built a pretty cool mechanic to play Magic the Gathering with these. So for any Magic the Gathering fans / AC fans out there, they released last week on the 7th of July. So
yeah, right. I've been playing an absolute cash grab of a game on my phone because I haven't had a lot of time to actually sit down and play. I've got like 5 minutes here and there. I've been playing Warhammer 40k Tacticus, which is a phone game that is free to play, but there is a lot of paywalls if you want to kind of accelerate your progress. But the actual game mechanics are pretty cool. There's a shitload of variety in it. It's fun if you've got 10 minutes to spare and if you don't actually care about the game and therefore you're not going to invest real life money.
Yeah.
You play it, once for 10 minutes, twice, like 2 times a day, like 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, when all your shit recharges for free, and off you go.
Yeah, nice.
Bit of fun. It reminds me a little bit of the old Tactics game you used to get on the PSP. You had D&D Tactics and...
Right, yeah.
What were you going to say, Dan?
Do you feel dirty playing mobile games over
your... I kind of do. Kind of do.
PS5?
Yeah. I was crying while I was doing it.
Yeah.
Well, for that, if you did feel like shelling out for the portal, the PlayStation Portal, they have updated the software now that it will run on public Wi-Fi networks. I found that out the other day.
I've still got a PSP somewhere.
Has that kind of pushed me more in the direction of getting one of those before international travel? Yeah. But yeah, so there you go. That's what's happening in the Magic the Gathering world. Things I never thought I'd say.
You heard it here first, folks. If you don't wear deodorant, you love card games.
So if you don't come to us for your news, and that's probably fair, don't bother trying to go to Kotaku Australia anymore because they've been shut down.
No, they haven't. They're still up now. They might be being shut down.
They are being shut down. They're being dropped by their parent group, which is The Pedestrian, which is owned by Nine. But yeah, it's a bit sad because there are 40 people who are being let go as a result. They're shutting down multiple web pages that they license. But yes, they've ceased the license in Australia.
Do we know why?
They're rebranding or reshuffling their licenses, and
Kotaku's bleeding overall.
Well, I mean, I put this in mainly because I know how much Dan hates reading that website. So. With all the ad pop-ups.
Oh my God. I refuse to open any of those links. You know that. It's just... you put one up a couple of months ago and I really wanted to read whatever the article was, and I just opened it and it was just a fucking bombardment of shit. It's like you can't get past 2 lines with either a video popping up over the top.
Or the full screen ad that you have to scroll through. Those ones do shit me. Yeah.
Or something like you get 2 lines and then it's I lie, it's not 2 lines. It's about a paragraph and then an in-text ad and then another paragraph and then an in-text ad and then pop-ups over the top of that. There's fucking top and bottom banners and it's just...
This must be on mobile, Dan, because I'm looking at it on the web right now and there's a video ad. Granted, after the first paragraph and an image, there's a video ad, but there's no other
mobile experience. I know what he's talking about.
But as someone who frequently goes to game wikis, that's kind of you have to tune that out because all those game wikis are like that. Any like tactical guides or strategy guides for video games are always horrendously littered with ads, and they're always fucking obnoxiously designed ads too.
The amount
I
of
don't wear
pet barn
diapers,
ads I
Peter. I
see
don't
when
need
I've
walkthroughs.
looked up a guide. Just dog food. I'm like, yeah, I know. I need to buy dog food, but shut up. Let me play my game. I don't. Who's talking about this? Nobody wants to know.
It was mainly platinum guides, Dan.
I know. I'm just giving you shit. There was actually, and anyway,
That's a
this
fair
isn't
cop.
the time. This is not even the time for that conversation. I was thinking of something. Oh, me and Tom were talking about yesterday. He sent me a link to a YouTube video that showed the different reactions or different animations of Ciri at the end of Witcher 3, depending on the ending that you have when she becomes a Witcher, and Geralt brings her a sword he has made for her, and the inscription that goes on the sword. So you can either have Swallow or an old, which is her nickname, or it's what Cirilla means, or you can have an old Witcher proverb engraved into it, and the different facial and animations to her when she reads it. She's happier when he gets her name inscribed on it than when she reads.
Also, she
the
reads
proverb.
it like she's like instantly like that says swallow, and when she
Yeah.
looks at the Witcher proverb, she's like, what
She-
does that say?
Mm.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, she asked him, and then I sent back to Tom the you haven't played the expansion, the Blood and White expansion, but
No.
there's a mission within that you release the curse on a person, and because of what has to be done to release the curse, I'm being spoiler free for this, even though it's been out for years, because it's a very good little side mission. He says, "Oh, you probably only have X amount of years left to live," and someone worked out after 7 years that the game had been out that if you can actually find that person's dead body after 7 years within
What
the game.
the fuck?
Yeah, it doesn't trigger anything. It won't show up in one of your platinum guides. It's literally just something
Littered with ads. Thank you for that, Dan.
And this is the long-winded story of what made me think of that. Is we've spoken about content that is in The Witcher that, like, potentially
still
you've seen or haven't seen, depending on how you played, how you went into a certain area. And you said one time that, oh, well, I've platinumed it, so I've seen everything. And I'm like, this triggered in my head, like, well, no, you haven't seen that, because that's not in the guide.
Can you
or
imagine writing a
platinum? So
Can you imagine writing a game and having no idea if it's going to hit the critical success that Witcher 3 did, and then putting into the code, oh, fuck it, if people are still playing it in 7 years' time, then I'll just put this little nugget of code in here. Like, it just shows you how dedicated to the game and living within that realm and the lore that they created that those developers were.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It's incredible.
That's awesome.
And you can cheese it. You can just wind your PlayStation date forward 7 years.
Okay.
And do it, because, well, it works on the internal date of your PlayStation. Same as the Calendar Man in Arkham City.
Yeah, I was about to
you
say
could
Arkham
just
City,
wind it forward to those dates and go and visit Calendar Man and get all the extra little conversations that Calendar Man has. It's the same sort of thing. It works on that internal clock. But it didn't get discovered until literally 7 years had passed from The Witcher 3 coming out. And then people go, oh, well, now if you want to see that, you can just wind your PlayStation.
I'll just watch it on YouTube.
Or just watch it.
Littered with ads.
Load up the game. Won't even load up the game again. Just fuck it.
Fuck it. Last bit of news.
Oh,
that was me slapping a cat, just so we're clear.
Whatever you want to call it these days, Pete.
Smack that pussy. Just derail.
Nobody wants to die. That detective future Blade Runner-ish noir kind of thing.
I'm looking forward to this game.
I was until I saw the gameplay.
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't seen the gameplay.
It's and they say it several times through the gameplay, because it's got a little bit of a narration from a dev over the top that it's a narrative. It's a narrative gameplay story. Like they only
the old
showed
adventure games.
Yeah,
like you play through a scene once and then you know where all the clues are, but the first time you play through it, it's a game of discovery and trial and error and shit.
Exactly, and the
you know what? If that's what it
clues-
is, I'm down, Dan.
I'll definitely play it. 100%, I'll play it. I just hope that there's a little bit more. There's so much potential for it that I hope that it's not just locked into continuously
on
going
rails.
through those detective scenes. I don't mind if it's linear. Absolutely don't mind if it's linear, and it will have to be to keep you on track with the murder story that they sort of set up in this 10-minute gameplay.
Yeah, but there's linear and then there's linear on rails in the sense that if 500 people play the game, they're all going to get the exact same experience every time they play it, as opposed to linear where your choices still have some sort of impact. So the old school traditional like adventure games, like if you knew where to click, it was the same on everyone else's version of the game.
And
we're probably past that these days.
Well, it does feel a little bit like that.
Okay.
It's like each thing that you can comment on in the world has a little icon once you get close to it that lets you interact.
So kind of like one of the Telltale games. Did you guys ever play any of those?
No.
Sort of. It kind of had that mixed in with BioShock. It wasn't quite as pigeonholed as the Telltale stuff. It was a little bit more free roaming. It's
even Heroes Quest was like that, and Space Quest, and all those kind of Lucasfilm games back in the day. LucasArts, sorry.
It feels like a Batman Arkham detective environment in a BioShock kind of world. So
okay, all right.
I would have really liked to have seen them show something. Like, even if it's at the end of that gameplay trailer where sometimes they show you clips of things that are further in the game, that's something a bit punchy, a chase scene or something like that. I would have liked to have seen that thrown in there just to know that you're not just going to go from murder scene to detective scene, like that there was
How long
was
till
something
it's
a bit
out?
more to it. I don't know, actually. Honestly, I really was looking forward to this one, and after watching that 10-minute gameplay, I didn't even make it to the end of it because I was skimming it. I didn't even watch it play through. I skimmed it because it really
due out in
didn't
3 days.
hold my attention. So, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was out. Is it 17th or something?
Yeah, 17th.
Yeah. So I'll definitely be paying it.
Yeah,
like I want to give these people money for something that looks great and has a bit original to something that I really enjoy, like a whole bunch of genres mashed together. So I'm definitely going to give them my money. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out in a few days. But
yeah, cool.
That's a bit of a far cry from what the trailer almost kind of insinuated.
Yeah.
It would be more like a BioShock, like first-person shooter with the detective element kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too, and that's why I was a bit disappointed with this really. And I don't mind a slow-paced game. I really don't. A really slow-paced game that really absorbs you into the world. And it looks like they do have those mechanics there that absorb you into the world. There was a few elements I didn't like because you've got someone in your ear. You're constantly. He was on a murder scene and he was constantly basically talking to somebody back
Cortana
at base. Cortana?
Yeah, from Halo. The AI in his head.
Never played.
No, it's just talking to Father from Super Troopers. Do you need me out there?
Funnily enough, Cortana ended up being Siri, right? So Cortana was the voice inside the Master Chief's head for the original Halo games, and now Windows has the AI assistant, and her name is Cortana, and it uses the same voice.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of a cool little hint, considering you've got a bunch of business people who've never played a video game in their life that have Cortana on their Windows machine. Anyway.
Just a little, and then it's, it probably says to you every once in a while, buy Xbox Game Pass, do it now.
I'll tell you a scary thing about the new Copilot Windows PC at some point soon. It's kind of as a follow-on from our AI episode. That's a device that I hope dies quickly and it's not baked into their core operating system like Windows 11, because that's a dark, dark place. Anyway, you guys are going to have your second beers.
I've just poured it.
Yep,
I'm going to skip this one. I should say before, and you probably can't see it because it's full of black stuff, but this is my brand new Brick Lane Brewing.
That's a lovely glass.
Trilogy of Fear glass with the trilogy.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's nice.
Anywho,
I'll go. Give me 2 seconds and then have a little sip, and I'll go first.
a little sip out of his trophy mug.
Yeah.
Yep, Tom's obviously feeling better, but blown out those cobwebs from last night. Yeah.
Yes, well, I maybe had a windrose or two in the park with Jasper, didn't I? I am drinking a beer that I've been sitting in my. I've looked at this every day to drink, and I want to have this on recording because I've been so excited for this beer, and it's, as you can tell, lived up to the hype. I have gotten the Gantry Noir, the dark Czech lager from White Bay. When I first saw they were doing this one, I'm a sucker for a dark Czech lager. I think it's one of the greatest styles known to man. And I'm obviously coming from what would you probably assume is more of an ale drinker. This just speaks to me. It speaks to my heart and soul, and I absolutely fucking love it. And so I saw it, and I was like, "Yep." Ran to the union, bought a can. And then I was like,
I can just imagine the little kid,
right?
right?
I was doing that, right?
Yeah.
Get out of the way! I must get it. And then took it home, and I was like, can't wait till we record next. And that was about a month ago.
Ouch.
So yes, I've looked at it, and every time I'm like, oh, I could really go that. I was like, no. I'm going to have it for the first time with the boys. And it is beautiful. That is delicious. It's pours more of a. You can kind of see it's a. I get the light behind it, but it's a really nice reddy brown.
Yeah. You just caught it as you put it down. You just caught the bottom of it. Was a nice,
You can kind of see
If
it,
you go back to the corner, just a little, you can see that that rubiness in the bottom of it. Yeah.
And like I didn't do. I would say the best of pours for this kind of beer, but it still poured a really nice, thick, foamy white head, which is hanging round. So it's like I don't have one of the side pour taps that everyone's raving about. But I would, I'm sure this would taste amazing off it. It's the flavor profile is it's exactly what I wanted on a day like today. It's warming, but it's got like that nice breadiness to it. But then like a little bit of spice. There's a little bite to it, which is coming through. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And as much as I would love to just not chug it because I just want to get rid of it, it's like, I just want to keep drinking. I want the never-ending Tim Tam glass right now, just for the next like 10 minutes. I'm definitely like, tomorrow I'm going to go buy more cans of it. Now that I know that it's as good as I hoped it was. But then, I'm giving that a 5, and I'm double handling it.
Nice. Very nice.
It's really funny. I was having a conversation with one of my brewers the other day, James, about Czech lagers or Czech dark lagers, because we got some from Sunday Road, and great beer, fantastic, beautifully made, bang on style, really, really wonderful made beers. I just don't find the appeal in them. I've liked the ones that I've had that have been good, but it's not something that if I was out and I had any form of other choice, I would order. I just do not find the
gravitate towards them. Yeah, they just.
So does James. James loves them. Yeah. But I would much rather have, and it's not just the, like, I understand that the complexity in making something that is has to be clean and have really good flavor expression because it's got nothing to hide behind. But I would much, much prefer a really simple, really well-made American pale ale over a Czech lager, a Czech dark lager. And I know it's just personal preference, but the Czech dark lagers are huge at the moment. I just really don't find anything inspiring about them. They're the ones I've had, like I said, mixed one from Sunday Road was brilliantly made. It was absolutely a flawless product. But I'm like, yeah, cool.
This one's got a really nice, like almost hidden bitterness to it too. And I think that's probably an explanation of why I like this style that brings me in, because obviously I'm a massive fan of West Coasts. Like I love a West Coast IPA because they're big and bitter. But this has got it like enough of it that it's it's not palate fatiguing like the West Coast can get, as much as I love to drink them. But like, yeah, I could definitely have a couple of these and like I'd get that bitterness, that bitterness fix I need, without just completely wiping out my entire palate.
Did you say before that it was bready or bretty?
Bready.
Okay. Cool.
They did say it does. I just read the back of the can. That it's
made from beer.
Made from beer, unfiltered, naturally carbonated, and undergoing 10 weeks of cold conditioning. This is flips the script on their house pilsner. And then this is exactly it. Think brooding older sibling who introduced you to metal. I was like, yeah, that's good. That's a good description.
I attempted to be that guy, but didn't stick with any of my brothers.
Oh.
Dan?
I've got a beer from Shout Brewing in Newcastle. Cloudy with a chance of juice. It's their NEPA at 6.8%. I think it has Citra and something else in it. Can't really remember what's in it. There you go.
No, I was guessing.
I thought you were looking it up. Yeah, I thought you were looking it up on Untapped or something. It doesn't say what's on here, but it's got a really nice pillowy mouthfeel that a NEPA should have with the amount of oats in it. It's got a really good hop character level with nothing being over the top or palate fatiguing or anything like that. 6.8%. It's bang on for that style. I just like it. It's a
Sigmund Voss Kvike yeast.
Kvike yeast, yes.
Add a unique touch to the satisfying ale.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
Bring it back.
That's exactly what it says on the can label. So I didn't see any hop written on there. But
no, there's nothing on mine either.
Jake, who is the brewer for them, did some crazy shit for. He was telling us what he did for Gabs and how he did it, and I'm like, oh man, he just got bucket loads of nerds and threw the nerds into the fermenter and did them that way for his nerds beer, and it came out green. And he threw a whole bunch of minties in there as well, or for a different one, and did as well. So he was telling me about this, and I'm like, oh man, and he knows I hate that sort of stuff. So he was very reluctantly telling me this, and I'm like, okay, no worries. But good for him. They sold really well, and he was really happy with them at Gabs. So he's burned through those, but this NEPA is one of his core range ones. So yeah, give it a go and go visit them if you're in Newcastle at some stage.
Got to tell you, it's I mean, out of the 4 beers on their website, it's probably the more it's probably the least out there beer description. They've got a beer called Keep Newy Weird West Coast IPA, and their description is: have you ever eaten a pine cone? Yeah, me neither. This is nothing like that. This beer tastes like pristine beaches mixed with coal dust and memories of phallic lookouts. This beer tastes like red. Yeah, this beer tastes like red and blue, like triumph in the face of adversity. It's better than Lego, and it tastes best shared with mates. Real beer for real Novocastrians.
Is there a phallic shaped lookout in Newcastle?
I don't know.
A lighthouse at some point.
I don't know. I'm thinking more like Pride Rock, like like Lion King.
Yeah. And the Newcastle Queen's Wharf Tower is a large phallic-shaped tower. It does genuinely look like a massive schlong. So that's probably what it's a reference to. Anyway.
Well done. How good.
Cool. What was it out of 5? Sorry, Dan?
I think I'll give that one a 4.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Now we're not doing trailer trash.
No, but, you know.
Go.
Let's talk about some trailers. It's our reactions to them. Gladiator 2. Why?
Yeah, fucking oath.
Why?
Good actors in it.
I watched it.
Is it a sequel?
Sound
Is it not? I don't know.
Why.
I don't know.
It is a sequel. It's definitely a sequel. It makes a reference
sequel?
To his wife comes.
Well, it's got the same actress in it.
I guess it's not his wife because she died in the first movie.
She most definitely did.
But somebody handed it.
Husband to a murdered wife.
Some lady handed
father
him
to a murdered son.
some lady handed him the ring that Aurelius had or owned or some shit. I don't know.
That was Commodus' sister that he had a thing with. Yeah,
that's what started all the strife, wasn't it?
No. Commodus wanted to get jiggy with his sister, and she had a thing for Maximus, and
keeping it in the family. Yeah, I just don't see the reason.
Well, yeah, obviously they do, because the two Emperor Princelings you see in the trailer there look like the most inbred things known to man. Like,
yeah.
slightly green skin, like that. Oh, it was creepy. They looked creepy.
I think it was gold leaf tinged. I think that was the idea. It's probably copper heavy metal poisoning.
I meant to look up who the emperors were after Commodus. Did either of you guys look at it, or did they say?
Yeah, I went on a historic fact-finding mission after seeing that terrible fucking trailer.
I think the
I gotta say, the
one's
trailer
probably
wasn't
meant to be
bad. It was
newer.
just more the concept of it was like, why?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Gotta admit, I will watch it for the
Denzel
Colosseum
Washington
being
and Pedro
flooded.
Pascal. Like
Colosseum being flooded. Like, I'll watch it for that scene.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But I love those two actors. They're brilliant. Everything that Denzel Washington's in, I enjoy, including, what was that third movie that he made?
The Equalizer 3.
Equalizer 3. Yep. I mean, as far as action films go, it's got its own little take on it, and I've enjoyed them all three.
Hey, I think this is the highest brow we have been, because I'm on Encyclopedia Britannica webpage. So I'm not even on Wikipedia.
Just sign in with your old UNSW creds and start trawling some research articles.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised Dan didn't go to the actual Encyclopedia Britannica that every family owned in the 90s in Australia. We pulled out one of the volumes.
We never had Britannica. We had the Funk and Wagnalls, which were like they were the no frills version, basically.
Oh, like, I'm all for that. Still probably sold to you by a door-to-door salesman.
Oh, 100%.
Thing.
I'm still sold to my mum by a door-to-door salesman, and my dad came home and fucking spat chips. I've got no doubt. Next one.
I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what we needed from up. We need to go back to the Winter Soldier vibes.
Is Thor done?
That's what I got.
Is Thor? Is the actor?
Well, it's
Hemsworth.
Out? He's teetering on the fence. I saw something on his Instagram that he's had some really promising.
Or he wants an observatorium extension in his like 20 hectare house, so he needs to do another movie.
Yeah. No. He's been seeing, because he was obviously really worried about the diagnosis of his family history with the dementia coming in, but he's been doing some sort of out there therapy, like medical therapy, and he's seeing promising results.
But he did the Limitless series about extending his longevity, and it pretty much amounted to continue doing the training that he had to do for the movies. And then he has continued to do the training, and he's not as cut as he was, but he's not even as cut as he is in Thor when he's filming Thor. You know, a lot of those shots are digitally enhanced, and he gets a pump on 5 seconds beforehand. But if you see that dude that night, he's not going to have the rippling six-pack that he has when he's shooting. No. So, you know, because we saw him, and we'll get to it later on, we saw him in Furiosa, or whatever it's called. Yeah, Furiosa. He's been in a couple of other movies recently too. So for a guy who doesn't want to do that stuff, he's clearly doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Captain America.
Anyway, he's not in this one, so I don't know why we've gone on a Chris Hemsworth level.
Just you bring back Nick Offerman. He was the president in Civil War, and I reckon he made a mad president, actually. A mad president.
Yes.
Yeah, take it or leave it. I mean, Marvel movies don't really grab my attention anymore.
No, and that's the thing. I haven't really been grabbed by them recently either. Some of the more recent ones to come out have just been like a few of them. I still haven't even watched a few of them. But look, Winter Soldier was such a good film.
True.
If they can recapture some of the magic of that, I think that's what the MCU, if we're going to still go on that path, that's what they need to bring people back in. And like Cap's the perfect person, the perfect character to do that, whether it's Sam Wilson or Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
And then, hey, look, we love a Hulk too, so I'm happy to see the Red Hulk.
Yeah, the Red Hulk. Yeah, I saw that.
My friend Carl, who is a Hulk fanatic, he loves Hulk, but I've never seen him more excited than when they first he saw the red leg, and he's just like, for years, every time I see him and he has a few beers, he's just like, World War Hulk is coming, and it's going to be the greatest cinematic experience you've ever seen. He's usually a bit high when he gets this as well, but he has not stopped. He's just like, he's so ready for World War Hulk to finally hit now that we've got a few Hulks in the thing. But
we've got 4 different actors playing the original Hulk.
That's true. But yeah, I think what you need is what that universe expansion, whatever you want to call it. What the MCU needs now is something like one of their greats. Like, I'm sure it won't be as good as Winter Soldier. Don't get me wrong, but you need to try and recapture some of the magic of that. And they did such a good job with that kind of being a
the magic was exploring
political
new
thriller hero. Yeah,
but in my opinion, they lost the magic when they replaced good storytelling and discovery and like revealing the mystery through narrative storytelling, and have just turned it into turn the wheel and the cookie comes out.
Yeah,
sorry, Dan.
They're gonna live and die by the line that they put in their own trailer. You're not Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
So they're gonna live or die by that line and that line alone.
Tend to agree.
That's the only thing. If Mackie, I don't mind Mackie. I've got nothing against him whatsoever. But unfortunately, I haven't seen a movie that he has been the lead in that he's been compelling in.
Yeah. Oh no, I get what you're saying because we've had this discussion before around Altered Carbon, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Altered Carbon.
Literally,
he did another movie where he was a cyborg or a artificial.
Oh yeah, I remember the one. Yeah,
it was
the war cyborg. Yeah,
I liked that because it felt indie.
It was perfectly fine. The movie was perfectly fine, but he was interchangeable. He's not a bad actor. I'm not saying he's a bad actor, but you could take any one of those characters that he has been, and they're absolutely all interchangeable. And whether or not that's a writing fault, or whether that's his range, or they're not allowing him to do things, but he just feels so locked into this, as Pete says it, cookie cutter. And if they just want him to be that cookie cutter, then it's just going to fall flat on its face. As where Steve Rogers was, I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, it just coming through where they set him up and going through everything. I mean, you look at how
also Chris Evans does have and has shown the range that he has. He's come from that not another teen movie dipshit up through to doing Snowpiercer, which was like grueling, to being the hero that like carried an ensemble.
But like, even as Steve Rogers, you see him go through all of that, and Mackie is now going to have to show that in a much, much, much smaller time frame. He's going to have to win everybody now to make this work, because if he doesn't win them, it's not going to work. As where Steve Rogers was and Chris Evans was able to show everything that he was capable of in the first one, and then
but he also got an origin story. And before a follow-up film. And Anthony Mackie's kind of had, I guess he had a whole TV series spin-off to introduce him, I guess.
But if they don't give him the material and the story to work with, it is absolutely not going to work for him. And he's going to get blamed for it, which is not right.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
No. Yeah.
Outside the Wire, was that the name of the film?
Yeah, that's the one I think. Yep. I haven't watched it, but I know that's definitely the one I think you're thinking of.
I can't remember the name of it, but
it is Outside the Wire,
and it was a fine movie. It was absolutely fine. It was
a Netflix film.
Yeah, and from memory, I'd probably watch it again. But I just it
was B grade.
It was interchangeable. He could have been Takeshi Kovacs from season 2. Yeah,
from one Red Hulk to another.
Yeah, Hellboy, Crooked Man.
That looks great.
It looks great. It's one of those. It's one of those weird things where it looks better being. I don't want to say downgraded, but it
is though.
Well, I think it's more just it's not focusing on the big CGI monster or army of monsters, depending on which film you're talking about.
I hope it's fucking R-rated. That's what we need is an R-rated Hellboy, because it is a Sin City style, fucking dark. Vertigo comic style. I don't know.
Was the last one R-rated with David Harbour and Mila Jovovich?
Hang on, I don't think so, but I'm just checking now.
Because that was leaning more into the Ron Perlman one. Started to get a bit kiddie and kitschy towards the end of
badly.
Like the end of Hellboy 2 was like
R-rated.
I'm pretty sure it's the exact ending. He pulls that face of like, Like he pulls that face at one point. But yeah, it's a smaller story. It needs to be that smaller story. Yeah.
It needs to be Hellboy just hunting a malevolent something.
Yep.
Instead of the world is at stake and in cities and
Yeah.
and exposing Hellboy for who he is. It's like, no, it just go to a little village, what it looks like Eastern Europe, and do a wonderful,
do a Dracula
well-told
story.
little story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see when that comes out. The next two are both from WB Animation, so they're redoing Watchmen because it's been how long since
10 minutes?
Since
At least 10 minutes.
Since Snyder's Watchmen come out. It is the trailer for that is looking pretty shot for shot, but it is animated version. It's nice animation. It looks schmick, but it's a little. I thought if they were going to do a Watchmen animated that's shot for shot, they'd try and capture a bit more of the art style that is in the actual comic book. It's weirdly fluid. It looks weirdly. It might be the lighting they're using in this trailer. I don't know if you guys watched it, but yeah, it's for me it looks like a bit too fluid. I wanted it to be a bit more pulpy, I guess. But look, WB Animation has
got a good
some
track
absolute
record.
winners.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that'll be a good one to do. So it's chapter 1. So I'm not sure how far into the story they're going, but they at least cover Dr. Manhattan getting to Mars. So that's 2 of the books from memory. I haven't read Watchmen in forever. And then the next one was they're doing a Batman Ninja 2, for lack of a better word. So they have the Yakuza League, which is the Japanese reimagining of the Justice League. So they had a Flash, a Wonder Woman, a Green Lantern, and Aquaman in there. And the designs look fucking cool. Like, yeah, this is that. I want this to be made in, like, if we need a new Batman game, let's do a Batman Ninja game. It looks that's like a really cool.
More
I know we just
feudal
say
Japan. That's a great idea.
Overdone the feudal Japanness, but come on, it looks pretty cool.
It does.
Batman Ninja was so freaking out there. It was so
yeah. I
weird
really enjoyed it. Though.
Off the wall. I didn't mind it. Yeah, it was something that you could just watch. It was.
I don't think you could do it live
big
action,
and silly.
Tom.
I said a game.
Game.
Oh, game.
You said.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely couldn't do a live action. No, God no.
No. Cool.
Yeah. So there's just some things that I saw because there wasn't much else happening out in the world of gaming and movies in terms of releases. Nothing really coming out this month that would excite any of us. I know our mate Ed got his new Final Fantasy 14 expansion, so hope Ed's enjoying that.
He's been live streaming it, so
there we go. Elden Ring dropped the DLC Shadow of the Erd Tree, and apparently it's very, very hard.
yes,
Everyone's
lots of
very
people
upset.
are crying. That means it's
very
good.
upset. Yeah. Otherwise, there wasn't much else in the June, July, August. Some things start coming out that that's when the some more games start getting released. We lead up to that Summer for Us release.
Yeah, but we do.
Quiet Place Day 1 is out. Twisters is out. Which
2 movies we didn't fucking need. I'm
Quiet Place Day 1 is very, very good though.
I'm hoping
it's a return form.
I'm hoping it is. Is Krasinski? I always call him Krasinski. Is that his name?
Krasinski?
Jonathan.
Is
John
he
Krasinski.
part of it?
I doubt.
Krasinski. Is he? Because he directed and wrote the first couple.
He's not.
At
He's
least
definitely
the
not
first
starring
one.
in it. It's.
No, I know
it's-
he hasn't been
yeah.
in. He hasn't been in it since the first one.
Yeah, no, he was in the second one.
Was he?
He was, 'cause there
must
was-
have cameoed in it because he.
No, there was flashbacks to how we got the family out in the initial invasion. Yeah, he was in the first one. The second one.
Quiet Place Part 2.
They might do like I haven't seen it. Have you seen it, Tom?
What?
Which?
The new one.
No, I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen any of them yet. Yeah.
It would. I haven't seen any of them. Oh, okay.
Nah.
So
Wow.
he was a producer in Day One. I'm just seeing if he's directed it. No, he directed A Quiet Place and A Quiet Place 2, and he directed If, in case anyone's interested.
I reckon the Day One will have like the traditional shot of like him and the family in the distance, for the Easter egg hunters.
Like he
to go, "Ah,
cameos.
that's
Yeah.
them." Yeah.
He cameos.
Someone
or
to do, someone at home watching with a beer do the Leonardo DiCaprio. Just like,
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Cool.
and then the only other thing. Oh, I mean, Wolverine and Deadpool's out in a week.
That I am
too.
going to thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait to
Sabretooth
watch
trailer,
you.
we got Tyler Dane.
we got-
I was so happy it was Tyler Dane.
It was the
I was
right
just-
Sabretooth.
Oh man, it was just when I don't know whether it was you or Sui that put it up, Tom. It's like when when you put that link of the trailer and I've seen Sabretooth in there, I'm like, I got nothing against Leif Schreiber, but Tyler Dane in the X-Men first one was like fantastic as Sabretooth. Such a good choice. And I've heard nothing of him since. Who knows what he's doing? He's just probably living on his wrestling money. And I was so fucking happy to see him. And like I wasn't quite on the fence with this movie, but I was leaning to going to see it. And then as soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, you got me.
I'm starting to do I like to call it the Dan. I'm starting to do a Dan where I'm not watching anything else now because I don't like.
Yeah.
They did a media viewing of the first 30 minutes and people have put up like spoiler filled like what happened. I was like, I don't want to read. Don't do
Fuck
that.
People are
Let me
fucked
walk
just
in
to make
and
$1
just enjoy it.
out of this bullshit. Ray Park's in it too, apparently.
Yeah, there's a shot. You see him in one of the shots. He's back as Toad.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
Toad.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yep, I had to think
Juggernaut's
for a
in there
second.
apparently. So I don't know if it's going to be Vinnie Jones back as
even
the Juggernaut.
Patrick Stewart's rumored to be in it.
Oh, there's going to be every man and his dog's going to be in it. Like Ryan Reynolds is going to take the absolute heyday. He's going to bring
he
in
got
anyone,
Jennifer
anyone and
Garner in
everything
for
he can.
Elektra. Like,
Oh, did he?
more power to him too.
Oh man, you got it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, this rightfully will be the biggest blockbuster movie of the year, without a doubt. It'll rake in
Fall Guy.
the
No, I'm
most,
just kidding.
the
I'm
most
kidding.
money.
Yeah,
The most
That got me. That was good.
I just hope that he continues to push the line because if you go back to Deadpool and how far he pushed the barrier on what you can get away with saying in a movie, in today's landscape, it's actually changed quite a lot since the first movie in terms of the message and the snowflakes out there complaining about stuff in cancel culture, and I'm not even talking about the bad stuff that should legitimately not be a part of our Hollywood, but just some of the commentary that he made to Negasonic Teenage Warhead, that he made to what's her name? He called the angry Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, Rosie. Yeah.
Gina
Cara,
Carrera.
Gina Carano.
That's right.
Yeah,
Just-
Cara Dune. Yeah, I was trying to think of the
Cara Dune,
actor's name. Yeah.
Just those types of quips. I fucking hope that they continue to push the boundaries. I assume that
I'm
he
pretty
will.
sure he has. I'm pretty sure he has.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the big
It's
thing
just
he had to pull
refreshing.
out, being Disney, was the drugs. So there'll be no shoving kilo bags of cocaine.
No,
into
but they
his
did
face
make-
and punching
yeah.
him.
But they did make comment about the coke.
Yeah,
That was in
so-
the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll he won't be able to do that. But I mean, that's one of the funniest things in the first movie.
Fucking
Is
oath.
like punching him
Yeah.
in the mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right. I think on that note, we'll
but
take
I
a
get
quick break.
it. I get it.
Yeah.
He gets it.
He gets it.
He gets it.
Let's go to the episode trailer. Tyler. He gets it. Not smacking your pussy.
And that's break time.
Hey, hey.
We're back.
We're so fucking back.
So back.
Beers, gentlemen. Peter, what have you gone on to your second one?
I have. This is
Excellent.
there's no point
Let's hear
holding it
about
up because it's exactly the same. But this is Brick Lane Soul Trader Love. What did I say? I thought I said the first one. No, it was Life. So they've done the candles. So we did Life. This will be Love, and I'm sure the third one will be Despair instead of Hope.
Live life, laugh. Live life. I don't know.
Live
I
Life.
can-
No, it's
No. It's just those Those
The candles.
no. I'm not even
the
going to say.
third
what I was
one's
thinking.
Fate. I just looked up the website.
So this is a Cascara and chocolate imperial stout, again at 11%, and I have yet to taste it. Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Ooh.
I don't know what Cascara is. I'm sure it's the turd of some other fucking mammalian animal.
It's a coffee bean, isn't it? It's a
Is that the
bean?
one the cat shits out? It could well be. It could well be.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh, this is the
there's-
scat episode.
Yeah, it's the exotic cat that they eat the coffee beans and then they poop them out.
No.
Cascara, which means husk, peel, or skin in
Oh
Spanish.
no! Okay,
It's
I'm
the
going to look
dried
up.
skins of coffee cherries.
Right. That's
I only know this because Batch used to do beers with Cascara, and I
Okay.
remember them having the little things in the bag. Yeah,
yeah. This one, it's very very bitter, but not in a traditional beer bitter way. It's got that real back palate hang around. If you can imagine, you wouldn't have done it, but if you can imagine just having half a teaspoon of like Moccona coffee ground or instant coffee, get that real horrible bitterness in the back of your throat. That's kind of what this is.
I have done that.
There's no, yeah, I have too. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the reference. There's no chocolate. I get zero chocolate, just a shit ton of coffee. It's not terrible. I guess it's like drinking a long black in a coffee in a beer.
Yeah, right. I had a beer like that last night. It was literally I was like, is this a beer or is it just cold drip coffee?
Oh, it's not quite that bad, but the reference is definitely the right one. It's quite sweet at the start and then just turns into back palate bitterness. I think this is going to be palate fatiguing, to be honest. I'm going to give this a 3.75.
So I was just ashamed of what I typed into Google and it came up with what I wanted right off the bat.
Cat shit
No,
coffee beans.
I said, what is the coffee that comes from cat shit? And it's Kopi, Kopi Luwak,
Kopi Luwak? Okay.
Yeah, Kopi Luwak is made from the coffee beans plucked from the civet's feces. Bad news for civets, it's the world's most expensive coffee and it's made from their poop.
I thought it was elephant. Elephants shut out coffee beans and made the world's most expensive coffee.
I remember somebody gave this coffee, whatever country it comes from, it looks like it might be Indian. I remember the one time they gave some of that coffee to like Kevin Rudd or somebody, whoever was prime minister at the time, and I remember it was a big thing.
Another irrelevant old guy.
I
Yeah, okay.
was more thinking irrelevant story, but yeah.
Civets are pretty cute. Look at them. Look at the little spotty
They're
bastards.
just cats, aren't they?
No, they're like a little. What I found. They're kind
I
of cool.
Black Ivory is the world's most expensive coffee, surpassing even Kopi Luwak. Produced in Anantara resorts in the Maldives and Thailand, this rare coffee involves nearly 30 elephants consuming Thai Arabica coffee beans. So yes, why?
What do you reckon the lifespan of that elephant is if he's eating that much coffee?
I don't know, but
It's
he's
just
going to
like- Tom's on.
$2,500 a kilogram for Black Ivory coffee.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
What is our predisposition to having animals eat the stuff that we want and then pooping it out and then we eat it?
It's got to be something to do with the digestive tract.
Oh yeah, 100%. It'd be enzymes in the stomach change the nature of.
See, now I'm
The
just thinking of
civets
the
are
way they harvest
really
it is
weird.
just Jurassic Park and the putting on the gloves. That's a lot of dino shit.
You are going to wash your hands before you eat anything, right? I love that line. All right,
Goldblum.
Dan, what are you drinking, mate?
I picked up the Hawker's Neapolitan something series. Neapolitan. I want to say what it says Bonanza or something, but I can't quite read it on the font in this light. So there's obviously the three. It's vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate. So I'm currently drinking the vanilla one, which is vanilla caramel ice cream white stout. They're all bourbon barrel aged. They're all 6% ABV, and they all come in 440 cans. This just oozes vanilla and caramel. It's I cracked it open, and I picked the vanilla caramel and the strawberry. Is it just straight strawberry? Yeah, it's just strawberry. I picked those two because they were the most different. We've had chocolate-based stouts before, so I thought these two were the most different ones that we had. I don't get much of the barrel, but there is so much vanilla and caramel in there. It's not funny.
They do say on the website to try and drink them as a mix as well. Like you did with the ice cream bowl. You took a scoop of chocolate, scoop of vanilla, and then a scoop of the strawberry. Yeah.
I'm definitely not opening the chocolate one tonight, but I'll leave a little bit in the can for the vanilla and caramel and a little bit of the strawberry one. I'll combine them at the end for... Actually, you know what? That can be... I was going to say that can be my fourth beer, but these are always going to be already...
It's Neapolitan Bonaparte, which is...
It says Bonaparte, does it?
Slightly entertaining.
It's so in this light. I mean, you're not going to be able to see it on.
Oh no! Even looking on the website, it's really hard to read on the can.
Together. Yeah,
it's an interesting font.
It's so blurred together, I can't even make out the letters.
Yeah,
it's definitely what they say it is. It's definitely ice cream. It's super sweet. The vanilla and caramel flavors are extremely prominent. Like the whole room smells like vanilla and caramel, which is great. I would have this is such a me comment. I would like some of that, more of that barrel, that traditional. If you're going to say barrel aged, bourbon barrel aged, I want more of that bourbon barrel there. Like I want that to cut through the vanilla and the caramel and the sweetness. Like that barrel is what is meant to be the cohesive element to all this, and pulling it together through tannins and bitterness and that multi-layered complexity. At the moment,
it doesn't say what bourbon they use, does it?
Ice cream and sweet. I can't read that. Sorry.
No, I mean I'm looking on the website.
It just says
doesn't say anything.
Inspired by the age-old famous tricolored ice cream, colloquially known as Neapolitan. This vanilla
don't
caramel
get me wrong. This was the ice cream that
edition
was always in the family fridge at home.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't describe anything other than
and
enjoy as a trifecta.
I'm the weirdo that likes the strawberry. I really like strawberry ice cream. So I'm quite excited to get to that one. So
there was never was there caramel in? No, there's no caramel.
No, it's vanilla. No, but I think they wanted to dress it's vanilla caramel.
I see. I got it.
I'd say they wanted to dress the vanilla up, so they've done a flavor combination.
Well, it's about time someone did. Tell you what.
It doesn't say mix them. It says best enjoyed as a trifecta. Drink them together, but keep them separate.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're pouring all three into the same glass.
Nah.
No, I'm gonna mix them. Yeah.
You have no respect for your taste buds.
No. I mean, Hawkers have done that before, where they've done a 3-part series, and then they've said, blend at the end.
Dan's contemplating his scoring.
He looks troubled.
He is troubled.
Like Big Red in the corner.
Yeah, it is.
Wearing my jacket.
Definitely is what they say it is. Oh no, is it? Because the bourbon barrel aged is on there, so it's half of what they say it is. I think it's well made. For linking it to ice cream and having it be an ice cream beer. It's well made. It's far too fucking sweet for me, so I'm not going to finish that can. But the flavors are fun. It's good. It is the ice cream side of it is. So I think it's worthy of a 4.
Dan's locked in a score that he's not allowed to lock in. Yes, you.
Sorry, he's not allowed to lock in.
It's very light.
The clarity is really well done on it. So I'm interested to see what the strawberry one's like and if it's got the same level of clarity to it. So.
Thomas, all right, I'm going to jump right in. I'm having the Akasha, which I haven't had an Akasha beer in fucking ages. This is their Red IPA.
Well, you're not going to be able to get them for too much longer.
Why?
Didn't Akasha shut down? Or am
I smoking? They went into VA.
They went into VA, but they came.
13 weeks later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
several, like
Good.
2 months ago.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Smoking crack.
It's a
Carry
bit.
on.
It's a lighter red than I would have hoped for. It is 6.5%. It's definitely not as like chewy toffee caramel as I would have liked for. Actually, no, I'm going to come out and say it. I'm a bit disappointed. Akasha have always been like the IPA like forward brewery, and I really think this could have more to it. It's very light. It falls off very quickly. There's a nice bitterness there, but it's when I think back to some of the previous red IPAs I've had from Akasha, this literally pales in comparison. I don't know if it's something they mixed in their malt bill, like they just missed the mark in that. The hops they use Nectaron and Cryo Citra. Like, yeah, it's just not as big and as resinous, and it definitely doesn't have that body that I'd expect from Akasha bringing a red IPA. So it's a shame. I haven't picked up to Akasha Limited in a long time, I will admit. I felt like a lot of their limiteds had fallen off the mark, but and this does not instill confidence that they're coming back. Like, I will still look for them and try them, but yeah, this one, I'm a bit upset. I wanted a lot from this. I love a red IPA as well. But yeah, I think it's more the malts.
Nectaron and Citra aren't bold enough hops to be. I mean,
Yeah.
they are both bold hops, but they're not bold enough hop to be a red IPA.
Like,
in my opinion, but
no, it's like there's a really nice, pleasant aroma there, but that's kind of where it stops. Like, that's why I'm disappointed. Like, I really would expect more from this. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to finish the entire glass. But like, yeah, just thinking back to some previous red IPAs that Akasha have done, it's not their best work. It's not their worst. Like, they've definitely made worse beers. And there's definitely worse red IPAs out there. Don't get me wrong. But I think I'd elevated what I would expect from this can before opening it in my own head.
Out of 5?
For just the actual beer, putting aside all my prejudice for it, it's a 3.5. It's a 3.5.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's got a really nice aroma. There is some hop character there, but that's
just
kind of
doesn't deliver on the promise.
And I think it's the body. It's mainly the malt bill just doesn't hold up everything else. Yeah. Oh well.
Say, Levy.
Say
on to rapid
V.
fire reviews.
All right. So, as everyone knows,
I got a hardcore delay for Tom. Sorry to interrupt you, Dan. Are you getting like a full 1.5 second delay on Tom?
Should we pause and record?
Tom, Dan, you're on mute, so you're confusing me now.
Yeah, sorry. Yes. There is a huge delay on Tom. Yeah, and it's really throwing me out.
We might just pause. Yeah, we might just pause. We'll be right back. All right. We've overcome our technical difficulties and we're into rapid fire reviews.
We've reloaded.
With Tom.
Yes. So I went away, and I got to sit on flights for 22 hours or something stupid like that over to the US, which actually gave me time to review and watch a whole bunch of shit that I'd probably won't do at home because I'll just go and play games instead of watching stuff. So yes, I have, 7 films
in 70 seconds,
3 series. Okay, it's actually going to be pretty fast track. So we'll start with the first film, which is The Beekeeper, starring Jason Statham. Look, it's Statham being Statham against every sort of military division that the US have. You then have also, he's kind of backed up by Emmy Ravalapman. If any of you guys watched the Umbrella Academy, she was the older of the sister siblings. Yeah. She plays a really, really jaded, like, FBI agent who is also a hardcore alcoholic, but functioning, so that's good. Yeah. The only other highlight of the film, a great amount of bee facts. I learned something from that film, so that was really good.
Bees are really interesting creatures.
And they're also very, very important to the ecosystem.
That scare the shit out of me because I'm allergic.
So am I. Look at us twinning.
But I'll still watch whole videos on beekeeping and shit on YouTube just randomly. I find it fascinating.
Jasper and I often walk to the carriage works, and there's some beehives like that are in one of the old train carriages. What, Daniel?
I clicked the hand up instead of the mute button. I was
You
going,
could
no.
tell because he's like, no, I didn't mean to.
No, he just kept popping though. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, look, enjoyable, but it's just it's another Statham action film. It's just
pass.
Does he do any actual beekeeping in it?
Yes.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yes.
So they
No.
That's
He's
the
very
piece-
respectful of the bees.
That's the
He's
piece.
Very respectful. Of the bees.
That's the peaceful opening sequence that's interrupted by the bad guys.
like Arnie building a log cabin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. But he also,
Or Mark Wahlberg at the start of Shooter, where he's in the cabin, the log cabin with his dog.
Yep.
Yeah, it's 100% that. Look, great on a plane. Also, have a couple of beers and just watch it at home. It's an hour and a half.
So it's a popcorn action flick.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely, without a doubt. Next on my list, Expendables 4. I have a soft spot for the Expendables series. Stallone is getting far too old to do them. His face is just starting to like drop off.
Speaking of melting faces, Megan Fox stars in this film.
Hey, actually, Fox is good. Fox is a really welcome addition. She refreshes this fucking franchise.
I never said she was a bad actress, but she does not look like Megan Fox. She looks like she's a Decepticon now. She's just...
Oh, God, they fully infiltrated.
Sam
Witwicky. Anyway, yes, they've added Megan Fox is in it now, and then they've added 50 Cent because why not?
Because Marshall Mathers wasn't around at the time.
Yeah, well, look, the notes I wrote, Expendables 4, now with added 50 Cent and Megan Fox, guns go boom. But they were missing some key characters from previous installments, and the banter just didn't carry.
Well,
like the one thing that I enjoyed about that franchise was the action. All these old action heroes got together and they could fire off on each other.
They talked about how fucking old they were. You had Arnold
Terry Crews
Schwarzenegger.
wasn't in it. Dolph Lundgren was still in it. What's the name of the
Bruce Willis clearly won't be.
No, Bruce wasn't in it. Arnie wasn't in it. Who else wasn't in it? There was one of the other main ones wasn't in it. They brought in some young guy who just wouldn't shut up, and that was really annoying. But it also ended up
by design.
After watching it, yeah, his whole thing is like his character just doesn't shut up.
Is okay.
I watched it directly after watching The Beekeeper, and the whole kind of plot of this film is like Jason Statham kind of takes over of it. So Sly's not in it that much. For story reasons. So after watching Beekeeper, I was just like, oh, cool, I'm watching another Statham film.
I'm just looking.
Does have a really good shootout on a ship, though. It's enjoyable.
I'm just looking at the cast for number 3. Antonio Banderas, Jet Li, Harrison Ford, Arnie, Wesley Snipes, Mel Gibson, and Randy Couture.
Randy Couture's still in it, who has the cauliflower ears, and he has his little rant about cauliflower ears again, which is always fun. And they got the new guy they bring in is he's a Thai actor, and I think he's in a bunch of those like really like hectic Thai action films. But he's
Ong Bak.
Yeah, I think it's that guy. They bring him in, and he's just got that. He's got that curved blade, and it's just him going fucking bananas with that. Best 10 minutes of the flight.
He's
easily.
He's incredible, Tony Jaa.
Yeah,
Tony Jaa.
Look, they are just a very enjoyable. It's a really enjoyable series because it's just so dumb. But like,
they've always been dumb.
Yeah, I know, and that's why they're so enjoyable. But they are so good just to have a beer, crack it on, just be like, "This is stupid. I love it."
Yep.
All right, moving next on. What do we got next on the list? We got the Covenant. This was fantastic. I really enjoyed this. I didn't watch this on the flight. I watched this when we got to Boston. So Guy Ritchie directed it. It stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Dar Salim.
I enjoyed it less than I thought I was going to.
Really, I enjoyed it more than I did.
Love war films, particularly modern war films, and I love Guy Ritchie, and it just didn't tickle my pickle the way that I thought it would.
I was surprised at how tense I was throughout the entire thing. I find it to be a surprisingly, this is my review, surprisingly tense war film with moments of Guy Ritchie flair.
It didn't feel much like a Guy Ritchie film, to be honest. It didn't have...
But I could feel his peppering of the flavor there.
Yeah,
I could feel his
that I can
presence,
see.
yeah.
But I guess I probably walked in expecting more of a Guy Ritchie film, like set
I
in
don't think one of
war.
the Guy Ritchie montages would have been appropriate for the Afghanistan war.
Yeah, but that's what I was expecting. Something that didn't take itself too serious. It was a bit irreverent and kind of applied his shtick to a modern.
I kind of
war.
got it in this in the there was that like almost montage, like just before he gets Salim gets Gyllenhaal's character back to that last camp, and he's finally pushing the thing up the mountain. There was a bit in that of him dragging along, but yeah, I was surprised. Like, I didn't think Guy Ritchie could pull off a war film, and I think he actually did a pretty bang up job.
From what I understand, it was purposely taken away from it and not advertised as a
Guy Ritchie film.
a mainstream Guy Ritchie film. It was meant to be something different.
I mean, look, if it's an opportunity for him to kind of expand into new territory, then yeah, awesome. Because he's a great director, and it was a good film. It just wasn't what I expected going in. That's all.
That's fair. Okay. Next one.
Speaking of getting exactly what you expect going in,
Aquaman 2. So I was very sleep deprived by the time I ended up watching this. It was on the flight from LA back to Sydney. First point, just as bad as the first. Actually, though, Tamara Morrison, to his credit, gives a really solid performance as Aquaman's dad. And the best part of his performance, I found, was the fact that he, throughout the film, consumed 4 to 6 Guinness cans. At one point, he opened up a fridge and it was just 80 Guinness cans in the fridge. It was the weirdest product placement I've ever seen. But it was just great. They just kept cracking Guinness cans. And I was like, yeah, I feel like a fucking Guinness right now. I couldn't get one on the flight. What else happened in that? There was the scene of Atlantis gets attacked, and it just felt like they'd ripped a bunch of things from the turtle scene in Finding Nemo. There was even like the East Current. They were like going through these ports. It was just very bad. The other problem was, I don't know why I'm treating this like a serious film, but I am. So Momoa is fine as the like broy chatty Aquaman, but when he tries to play it serious or give something that's a really emotionally driven, it doesn't even get close to hitting. And it's so jarring in this film when he goes from being like yeah, bro, like we just killed a bunch of guys, to him being like, my son is gone. It's just like, it doesn't work at all.
Isn't that very interesting? Because the same could be said for the Affleck Batman in the opposite. Because we know Affleck can comic timing very well in things that he's been in, but I think the Affleck Batman is like his poignant, his serious moments are incredible. Yeah, and then when you throw those broy moments it throws it out the opposite way.
Yeah, well, this is exactly flipped that way. Yeah.
Dude.
Anyway, I watched it. It was fine. Patrick Wilson,
he's far too good for that.
Yeah, it was like, man, like, how desperate for cash are you? Nicole Kidman was in it as well, looking like a
plastic
Barbie
fantastic.
Doll. Yeah. And Amber Heard didn't shit the bed, or did she? Next on the fast review list, I'm trying to get through them, Pete. Fast Charlie. This was I'd never heard of this film. I don't know where it came from. But it's Pierce Brosnan and Marina Baccarin, and it's set in the South, like Louisiana. And it's like a gangster film. It's someone trying to do a Guy Ritchie film. It starts off really like fast-paced, quippy. Not like, but like in reference kind of thing. Like it works in the scenarios. But then it really quickly moved into your kind of standard popcorn action flick kind of flair. The combat style, because it's obviously there's just bodies start piling up. It's less John Wick and more Taken. So he's very deliberate and precise with his shots. He's not
like proper
doing
close combat.
Yeah, he's obviously he's too old to do the John Wick style. It's what you'd expect.
Oh, did we lose Tom?
We did just lose Tom's audio.
Shot.
Oh,
we got it back.
We're back.
You're back on Get the Shot.
Get the Shot.
Anything before Get the Shot we missed.
So it's just he just lines up his shots and he takes them. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
There is
so
a
very Jason Bourne CCW.
But it's all shooting. There's very minimal close combat kind of thing. That kind of which you don't expect from a lot of action films these days. There is one of the best Bond references though. Obviously, you had to throw it in with Pierce Brosnan, having played Bond through the 90s. And it's just him going through a. It's not a spoiler at all. It's just a fantastic blink and you miss it moment. And he just pulls out like the cache of weapons, and he goes through and he pulls out the Walther PPK, and he just like, hell yeah. It's the Leo like, oh, I seen it. He does pull off one of the worst Southern accents I've ever heard though, and it was super distracting. But yeah. Anyway, that was that.
Godzilla.
What? Godzilla. Have you guys watched it yet?
No.
We're not going to talk about it until you guys watch it. You need to watch it. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to park
talk
that
about
one
Furiosa, and then we're going to take another quick break because you've got some technical difficulties again.
I'm going to literally punch my modem. Either of you've only seen half of Furiosa as well.
I've seen half. I don't usually only watch half a film in one sitting, but I was too drunk.
And Dan, you
I didn't mind it.
Okay. I'm going to park that one as well because I'd really like to talk about both those films with both of you having seen it.
Let's do that in depth. I think Furiosa we can spend a good 10, 15 minutes on once we've all seen it.
Yeah, we were going to watch it last night, but we disappointedly chose to watch another movie because of reasons.
So far, so good is all I'm going to say on that. I was expecting a shining turd. It may still be a horrible, horrible mess at the end, but so far, so good. All right, we're gonna have to take a quick break again. Yeah, cool. On to Tom's shows.
Yes, shows. Let's go. I didn't write as many notes on these. Have you guys watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Prime?
No. Very
enjoyable. Really enjoyed it. Obviously, a big fan of Donald Glover. I love his music, but I think he's a great actor. It was actually a really clever way they did the series and the way they presented it all. So the episodes are all structured around the stages of a relationship. So you start with the awkward stage of getting to know someone, then you go into like the rampant sex stage, and then you go into like the kind of honeymoon phase, and then it's like, the fights start happening, all this. But they're all staged around different missions. So it's actually a very, very fun way of showing that kind of side of the story. The action was tight. The each story is kind of its own monster of the week kind of thing. Like there is an overarching kind of thing, but it's more about the agency they work for rather than the mission they're on. So Donald Glover is one of the main actors. Then Maya Erskine is the other one, and they have a really great chemistry together. So, which you obviously need for a Mr. and Mrs. Smith show. And look, let's say it, far better than Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie we're ever going to get. So yeah, it's fun. And like, also, if I could fucking afford the house they have in New York, I'd be fucking cheering. There are some fun moments where they have to put a body into a decomposer, and the way they both react to that, it's like their first dealing with a body, and it's just like, while they're navigating this relationship they're starting. But yeah, it's really good. It's 8 episodes. They're 40 minutes long. There's some really great shots of scenery when they like go to Italy and stuff, and it's very Bond-esque kind of thing. But yeah, I recommend checking it out if you want something kind of, you don't have to pay too much attention, but it drew you in. Like you weren't distracted while watching. I didn't find myself distracted. I wasn't trying to pick up my phone to look at anything else because I was like, oh, this is boring and dragging on. It was very, very well done, and the rapport between the two was great.
Reacher?
Next one we all know about, Reacher. Pete, it was really solid.
I found season 1 way better than season 2.
Yeah. And do you think it was because there were too many cooks in the kitchen in season 2?
Yep. It just became
100%.
a generic team-based special forces film. It started off as
also
just
his
Jack
motivation, like the way he was motivated to do certain things, really didn't carry through in the second series.
Yeah.
Like in season 1, it was the death of his brother.
Yep.
And it's like, of course, motivated for revenge. The second one was like, well, some guys you serve with, and yeah, I guess you guys were tight, but
and there were a bunch of assholes for the most part.
And it doesn't really justify what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Like,
and I just don't think they portrayed him as the impervious action hero that's just better than everyone else around him the way that they did in the first film.
They made him seem a bit of a dick at times.
Bumbling.
I was like, Reacher, come on, bro. You're better than that.
Yeah.
But Alan Ritchson is a fucking beast of a human. Like, he terrifies me to look at. Like, he's just too big. But there
were soft moments in the first season that I really enjoyed that were a nice counterpoint to how hardcore he was. And the second film the second series just lacks soul for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's 100%. Yeah, I became generic when we finished it. Yeah, it was just like they never felt any justification for his actions.
And it just didn't have any depth anymore.
Yeah.
It just became a generic action show.
And I think that was definitely because there were too many main characters and they didn't have enough time to spend on any of them. But it was an enjoyable watch. We lapped up every episode, but it was just like towards the end of it, we're just like, oh, it's
a bit fatiguing.
it's a bit the same. The same again. Yeah. And then last one, I finally caught up on Fallout. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. I still haven't done Last of Us, but in terms of a adaptation of a video game to a TV or movie, I definitely think it's up there as one of the best. I thought all the characters really, really were great. I liked how pathetic they made the Brotherhood of Steel guy. You just, because obviously you playing the games, you know how like hardcore the Brotherhood of Steel is, and so you want him to be that, and it's just the fact that he can't ever really get there.
Yeah. Bunch of cowards in a suit, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
They're all cowards in suits.
But I think the suits on that really came through.
They had a gravity to them.
Your initial fear was that it wouldn't.
100% wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nah, it was really, really well done. There were so many great little references. The Ghoul guy was fantastic. Not Walter Goggins, but the other one becoming the Ghoul. I thought that was a nice little touch. And yeah, I guess my main problem was still I had to wait until episode 5 to finally get the Fallout theme coming through. And I was like, come on, man. I needed that 5 episodes ago. Give me that War Never Changes. Walton Goggins was amazing, though. He was fantastic.
I 100% agree. Yeah. He made that series. And actually,
in both elements that he played.
Absolutely.
In his human form and in his ghoul form.
Just the disgust at discovering what his wife was doing and all the rest of it. And Ella Pennell, for someone I've never seen on screen before, she did a phenomenal job of carrying that series.
Yep.
So
yeah, that was great.
Yeah, nice.
All the sets were fantastic. I really,
They did a bang up job of the sets. I've got to say that.
And it seemed to be a really nice, like, overarching. Everything picked from every game that's come out so far. So there was enough of Fallout 4 in there for me to really get it. But I know for other people there was a lot of Fallout 3 in there for
100% there was, yeah. There was a good variety, and it was an important story. Like they didn't just tell some inane story in it. So I thought that was I just hope they don't paint themselves into a corner where they've got to beat it for season 2.
Yeah, and I mean that's always the rub, isn't it? Like you got to
pull the audience in, but if you overdo it, you got nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's you want that to be like at the level, but yeah, as you said, don't need to go overboard to do the next bit.
But there's lots of interesting stories to tell in that universe, I think. So yeah, I'm hoping it stays good.
That's me. I'm done. I'm going to shut up now.
Yeah, I've got a couple that I'm going to talk really quickly about. Doctor Who Season 1, which it's so different from the previous Doctor Who relaunch from 2005 that it's got its own entry in IMDb, and it started again from Season 1 instead of Season 14. I guess I'm at that age where I can declare that they're not making that show for me anymore. It's not aimed at me as an audience. I'm going to say the first half of the season was all about the message, in air quotes. It was way too woke for me. It was too politically charged. It was delivering a point, and the point had nothing to do with the show that was on the screen. It was a comment on society and trying to jam too much into it that I really don't have a strong opinion on. The second half of the season got better, but it's not. There were moments where, like, if you go back to even the David Tennant episodes and the Matt Smith episodes, the good ones that stick out in memory are the poignant ones that really talk about humanity and deal with existentialism and all that sort of good stuff. But a lot of the filler episodes in between were just kooky, funny, irreverent, just episodes. And the second half of this season kind of had a few of those that I just kind of got caught up in the fun of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've got no issue with the actors themselves, but I think their portrayal of the characters, whether it's direction, script, or their own little personality injected into it, just not Doctor Who for me. Like, the Doctor's just too whiny. He's too he cries in almost every episode. You know, and for me, the Doctor is in control, on top of everything, 17 steps ahead, not 3 steps ahead.
Above all that.
And just way too emotionally charged for me, and everything made him emotional. And it just, like I said, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying it's not made for my generation of audience or me, my type of audience. My generation's probably unfair to say.
No, that's entirely fair. I think I had that with Eccleston. I didn't think Eccleston was for me, and then Tennant came in, and I was hooked back in. And I think that's always been the kind of, I guess, the beauty of Doctor Who is that you can almost skip a generation if the Doctor doesn't sit with you, because you might get drawn back into the next one.
But I've skipped 4 now. 3?
Have you?
3. No, John Hurt was the last good one. Matt Smith, then John Hurt, then Peter Capaldi was just the wrong.
That was just poorly written.
The wrong kind of writing. Jodie Whittaker was horrible, not because it was a female Doctor. I would have really gotten behind that. They just didn't write it well. And then
those 2 seasons back to back, like it dropped. The writing just dropped off.
And then Nakuti, I don't think it's the actor. I just think it's the writing. I think Stephen Moffat just needs to tell a good story like he used to, instead of trying to tell his story.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because his story is not the story that appeals to everybody. His story is his story.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. And if you want to, anyway. House of the Dragon Season 2, on the other hand, is fucking spectacular.
I've heard it's gone back to like the heyday of Game of Thrones.
There are
I'm
moments,
actually tempted to start it.
There are moments in Season 2 where I'm literally like, and you know, you may judge me for making this statement, and I'm okay with that, but it reminds me of seeing
most of your statements, Peter.
It reminds me of seeing Bell's Shakespeare, like Bell's Theatre Company, like the creme de la creme Shakespeare. There are some dialogues and some monologues between Matt Smith and the actress that plays the final version of Rhaenyra Targaryen, and their brother and sister, or their uncle and niece, rather. Emma Darcy. Darcy? I'm going to assume it's Darcy, not Darcy, because that just wouldn't work. She is brilliant in her. She reminds me of Janeway from Voyager. It's a very fine line to play a strong feminine character that borders masculine at times without ending up in some weird areas that obviously are superfluous to the story. She does an excellent job of being very hard, very, very set in her ways, very assertive, at times aggressive without being too masculine. I think she's a brilliantly written, strong female character. And then Matt Smith, already being a fan, I've got to say he has impressed me again in his ability to deliver complex emotional lines in a believable sense. And like I said, the dialogue between those two in season 2 especially feels Shakespearean. It's just fucking written magnificently. Thoroughly enjoying it. We're only about halfway through. I think we're episode 4, episode 5. Yeah, really thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, look, as someone who was obviously severely burnt by the end of the main series, I've been really just looked
hesitant
at it.
To get into it.
Yeah, well, it pops up on binge, and I'm like, I could, because I love a bit of high fantasy. Let's go, but I remember how shit it got at the end there, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, I'm glad it's settled into a rhythm now, because season 1 was a bit janky. They were trying to cover the period from Rhaenyra going from like a little girl to an adolescent, like a almost prepubescent to adolescent to adult, and they did that in the span of 6 or 7 episodes, and it was a bit janky. And every time you started to learn and like the actress, they'd swap her out for another actress to play the elder version.
Yeah.
Season 2 has been a lot more stable. It's telling one story, and you've established the characters, you've established the relationships, and it's just fucking excellent. I just realized how dark I went. It's because my cat's in front of the light. She kind of looks like the bat wing in front of the moon at the moment. It's just this awesome silhouette of this perfect Sphinx-ish cat. Anyway.
No, that's good to know, because I'd heard just how, like you said, janky season 1 was.
Yeah.
But knowing that season 2 really settles into its rhythm, it's like, oh, cool. I can get through season 1 if it's janky, to get to that.
Gotta tell you, it's probably better written than most of Game of Thrones, including some of the good stuff.
Cool. Great. Excellent.
Yeah. In terms of the power of delivery, it's probably a bad example, and it's in my head, it makes sense, but the original Robin Hood, like the 1920s? No, when was... No, not 1920s.
Not the Kevin Costner, not Prince of Thieves.
No.
I mean, Errol Flynn.
Yeah, he was. Errol Flynn was the black and white.
Yeah.
Yes, it reminds me of that. Some of the shots, some of the fight scenes,
used to tell me
some of the background.
I reminded her of Errol Flynn. Good old Muffy. I was like, yep.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, okay, sick.
Very
that's
impressed.
exciting. That's great. I think I might get stuck into it, because we've kind of, we've hit a bit of a patch with, we're back into Taskmaster, and we're catching up on some of the older seasons, but it's just we don't have a story series. A story series, you can watch a comedy thing, but yeah.
I'm just about
okay, all right, sweet.
I'm just about finished watching House MD for the 5th time from season 1 through to season 8. So
that's a big investment.
Yeah, I think I'm at season 7. Yeah, but it's the sort of thing you throw in the background when you've seen it that many times. It's still one of the best series for making me laugh out loud, that full on belly laugh, just that sarcastic instant wit. Anyway, over to Dan.
So I haven't done much lately, but I did start 2 days ago Vox Machina, the Legend of Vox Machina season 2, because I saw that season 3 was coming out, and I'm like, I better get into season 2 and finish that off. It seems we have Prime at the moment. Love it. I thought I'd watched episode 1 and not been too fussed with it a while ago, and then I watched episode 1 again. I'm like, I haven't seen this, because this is really good. And I would have continued on. And then I punched out. I mean, they're only 20, 30-minute episodes.
Yeah.
I punched out 6 episodes in 2 days. I'll just stay up for an hour and a half, watch a couple at night when Louise
It's
goes
a
to bed.
Clone Wars style filler. It's solid. You can't take it too seriously.
But it's also ongoing too. It's not like
Yeah.
Clone Wars where it's got a Monster of the Week stuff. But I love it. I think it's great. I mean, you can see how it was also done on later campaigns of D&D where they start to bring in more magic items and different groups and things like that, and people are leveling up and getting different abilities and picking up bits and pieces. But interesting, original, wonderfully written, well voice acted. The animation really grabs me. I really like that.
I love that style.
It's clean, but it has something to it.
It reminds me of the old D&D, the original D&D comic from the 90s. And X-Men, the 90s X-Men cartoons.
Maybe that's what it a little bit is. Maybe it is a little bit X-Men-ish that gets me. And they've because they're later levels too, so they're starting to evolve the actual characters rather than just giving them new abilities. They're finding ways to expand the character arc on them. So I'm enjoying that. Looking forward to finishing it off and season 3.
They must have done a mid-season break for that cartoon, because I stopped when Vaxildan, the male Vax, bathes in blood and meets his god.
I haven't seen that, so thanks for that one.
But
it's like Ghostbusters all over again.
Just said you've seen season 2.
I haven't finished season 2,
but I'm
6 episodes in.
You've got to be on the episode then. I didn't tell you what happens and what the conversation's about. But
if he ends up as a champion of one of the gods or one of the upper beings, he doesn't bathe in any blood, but he does become a champion.
That's what I did yesterday. I bathed in blood and met my god.
Yeah,
pretty disappointed actually.
Doing the whole Elizabeth Bathory thing. So.
When you see it, you'll realize I actually didn't spoil anything really, but and I'm fairly certain they took a mid-season break, and that's where I stopped, and I never really picked it back up. So I've still got the second half of the season to watch.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's 12 or 13 episodes or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good length for a 20-minute, 30-minute episodes. Yeah, it's good fun. They're great. They're great voice acting. I mean, obviously that's what those people do. So they just convince you like nobody lets the team down on that side of it, and they're all so fucking different that it just makes it enjoyable.
They won a Golden Tomato Award for their first season too, which is the Rotten Tomatoes best ranked films,
as they should.
On a similar note, I don't know if you guys saw that Arcane season 2 is coming in November, but it is the final season, which is a bit sad.
Oh.
That's because that was a really good first season. So
it reminded me of Aeon Flux, that series.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I've now got the best and worst movie me and Louise have watched in the last couple of months.
Excellent.
And I did not mistype the second title. So the first one, the best one, Up Late with the Devil, is fucking Up Late with the Devil is excellent. I cannot pronounce this.
It does look very, very good.
Isn't that the like 60s or 70s TV series?
TV show?
Yeah. Up Late talk show. Yeah.
The thing that I love,
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the Devil. Sorry. Small story. It's set on the TV set, the Up Late talk show. It's only set on the TV set. There and backstage. So front of stage and backstage are the only two areas, until I guess the last 5 minutes. But the two primary stages sets are front and back of this TV show. It's meant to be the found footage of the behind the scenes footage of this devil
event
possession or this demon possession that comes out on stage. And it's all about a TV show, a late night TV show host who is going up against his biggest rival for ratings. He is falling off after being the king of late night TV for so long. He's falling off, and all of a sudden this Halloween special comes around that he is presenting, and is what is meant to get him back to get a new contract and continue the late night series and win him the ratings all over again.
The race, yeah.
And it's just great. Like it's such a fun little ride until you get to the poignant moments. And then there's poignant moments around the characters that have just sat on stage and spoken to each other. It's a couple of people in a room talking to each other, the shit that I love, that is well scripted and excellently acted, with bits and pieces happening in the background that if you blink, you miss it. Like I had to rewind it a couple of times and go, did I just see that? And I'm like, yep, okay, I did see that. And then it just continues. People go along. People.
God, you'd be annoying to watch a film with then.
I don't usually do it, but it was.
I know, I'm joking.
It was one of those movies where I'm like, I'm not sure whether that was meant to be there or whether it was meant, or whether it was a lower budget mistake.
I'm a nightmare to watch a film with, Tom. Just so you know.
Oh, I know that.
I'm the sort of person that if I'm on my couch within the first 5 minutes, I'm predicting the ending of the film. And that's not what makes me annoying.
Can you guys look up the cast for this? Because I cannot pronounce this guy's last name.
David Dasmachilian?
Dasmachilian? Yeah, however you pronounce that. He always plays side characters and the support characters and this and that.
For those playing home, he's the like Russian dude in Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
he's also
he's
a main character in Oppenheimer.
I
haven't seen that.
In The Dark Knight, he's one of the guys that the Joker uses.
He's in Dune Part 1.
He's the Mentat for the Harkonnens.
He's Polka Dot Man in fucking
he's Polka Dot
Suicide
Man
Squad.
in Suicide Squad. He's all that, but he's always a side character. He can absolutely hold a film on his own. Like he's such a wonderful, charismatic range, like full spectrum range actor that you love him in 1 minute and you fucking hate him in the next. Like that, he's such a he's so good. I hope.
But this is one of those films that's it's stage play film. Like
it is. It absolutely
like
is stage
Rocky
play
Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
Oh well, I meant more like it's watching a play, but watching a film.
Yeah. And
did you guys ever watch that Chris Pine one I told you guys about the All the Old Knives?
No.
If you really liked this, you need to watch that one, Dan. I really want to get your opinion on it. I think you and Louise would love it.
I think I did see that one in the end.
It's the one. It's like set in it's two spies talking in a restaurant, but it's all kind of set in the restaurant. Yeah. But no, and I think it's so hard to pull off a film that is that kind of stage play in a film because it doesn't always translate so well. So if they've done such a good job with this, like that's a really good sign for that guy as his career. Like he can like skyrocket. Yeah.
I so hope they give him more roles like this because he's
cool.
so absolutely wonderful. And his supporting cast was absolutely fantastic as well. Especially the little girl who plays the possessed one. She's great. The worst movie we've watched in ages.
The flip side to this.
The counterpoint is we were out with Louisa's, my brother-in-law last night. And we were talking about really shit B-grade movies that we just loved because Jamie and his son, they love the Sharknado movies, and we were talking about the Meg and this and that. So I came home, me and Louise got home from dinner, and we're like, you know what? Let's watch a really shit B-grade horror movie that potentially is going to be good. So we watched Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
The first one.
Out. The first one. Fuck me. Like, I could have 100% written a better movie than what that was. Like, it was so forgettable and horrible that it wasn't even enjoyable. Like, it was just, it was just bad all the way through, from the acting to the characters to nothing made sense, to the character motivations, nothing made sense. There was, other than Christopher Robin, sorry, my light's just gone out. I'll fix it in a sec.
It's okay.
Other than Christopher Robin and Pooh and
he doesn't
Piglet,
have the clap.
There was female victim 1 to 5. There was male victim 1 to 3, and that was it. Like, I could not tell you out of any of the others. I could not tell you their fucking names. Like, it was so bad. The motivation for any of the characters doing anything was just horrendous.
It was just a cash in on the fucking name then.
Also, can we just say this lighting scheme is very good for what you're talking about?
Yeah, because now I turn this on and Pooh with an axe murderer turns up behind me.
Beetlejuice,
See,
Beetlejuice,
I know
Beetlejuice.
it's my fucked up brain, but I just pictured Mr. Hanky with an axe behind you.
Yes.
Fuck.
But I mean, you know what, Tom? That would have been better because it was such a bad movie. Like, it just, I'm not joking when I said I could have written something better, because the introduction where Christopher Robin is taking his wife in to try and find Pooh and the other animals, or the other hybrids, whatever they fucking are. That it felt
they
like
were his soft toys in the book, but yeah,
it felt like they filmed 3 different introductions to the character's motivation for going in there, but then they didn't decide which one they wanted to put in, so they just put
threw
all 3 in. Yeah, so you had the first 5 to 10 minutes after the little monologue at the start of these 2 characters going and stopping in different parts of the woods and having the same conversation from a slightly different point of view. And it was from there on, it was
janky.
Just fucking infuriating. It was so poorly written. The acting was horrendous, but it was so poorly written. And just the character motivations. So it had traditional. I'm going to get off this for a minute because I've already spoken too far long about. But to show the idiotic,
it's good though, because it just reminded me of a really shitty film I watched last week that I'm going to throw in after this. Okay,
the really idiotic things that people do in horror movies is one thing. So
yes,
and this had some stereotypical slasher, but really 90s, 80s, 90s slasher, early Friday the 13th elements to it. So there was this girl in a bikini in a hot tub, which was your typical Instagram girl. She's taking photos of herself in the hot tub, and she goes back through the photos. They're in this isolated cabin in the woods. There's no other houses around. They're in 100-acre woods. She's going through the photos and she zooms in, and sticking his head around the corner of the shed behind her is fucking Pooh Bear. And she's like, fucking creep. And so she gets out of the hot tub. She starts going, oh, what do you want? Like, blah, 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 blah. And then she gets back in the hot tub and fucking puts her back to the same point of view that where she took the photo, where the fucking creep sticks his head around the shed. Like, it was like, you're not going to go in.
I'm also just picturing the Winnie the Pooh head coming around the corner like, hello.
Yeah. And that's what it's like. If he had that voice, it would have made perfect sense. But she gets in the hot tub and like lies.
Well, it's cold
back.
once you get out of the hot tub. You got to get back in to be warm again.
No. Okay. The getting back in, whatever. I mean, script, yes. But like have her face the position where, so she can look at where the creep was behind the shed. Like, but it's things like that where you just go, this is just so fucking idiotic.
Did she get out of the hot tub, grab a toaster, and just jump back in?
Oh, you know what? That would have been more entertaining.
Yeah,
if she knocked off something to electrocute herself in the meantime. There's one point where the main female character, I say that in quotation marks because she was just so forgettable with the others that were in it that like there was no real main one. They're getting hunted by Pooh and Piglet, and she's gone, oh, I've brought a gun with me. Okay, you've brought a gun with you to a girls' weekend away to a cabin. She runs up to the room. She can't fucking find it. She can't even remember where she put her firearm. It's like firearm safety 101. Like, know where your fucking gun is. Then she gets it out. It's not this little revolver. It's a fucking Magnum.
Yes.
It's like the biggest,
what a boss bitch.
It's the biggest gun you could ever have. And it was just so pathetically bad.
Yeah.
That it wasn't even that bad it's good. It was just pathetically bad.
All right. We need to move on from this.
All right. I'm going to really quickly talk about a shitty film that I forgot that I watched, but damn brought that memory back to me. As a public service announcement to not watch it. It's called The 355. It was on Netflix. It stars Jessica Chastain, Diane Kruger, Penelope Cruz, Lupita Nyong'o, and Sebastian Stan. Like, you think that's a pretty decent cast.
Yeah.
horrible. It's fucking shit. It's the worst written thing I've ever seen. It's meant to be like this super spy, but like female-led version, and they've just
I think
didn't
I've
write
skipped over it.
They didn't write any of the characters well. Not one single character is written well. You saw the ending coming well before it even happened. The action scenes were pretty poorly executed. It's horrible. I watched it. I was very hungover.
The cover looks like a girl power film. Like it's 5 women on the cover of the movie. I think I've seen the trailer for this, and it was made out like
wasn't that long ago.
It was
no. It was, but no one saves it. Not one of them can.
From the
attempt to
studio
save it.
that bought you Jason Bourne.
Yeah,
it just looks like a girl power film.
But it's even not. It's not that girl powery in the sense. It's just the way it's written from every angle is shit. It was just. So just avoid it. Public service announcement. Like, obviously, they're all getting paid by Netflix, and that's the reason they did it. Because I don't think any of the people who started that really wanted to be in it. Everyone felt like they were phoning it in.
The trailer didn't look horrible.
Yeah, well, the movie's fucking terrible.
Okay.
So save yourself, Pete. I've taken that bullet for
public
you.
Service announcement. Yeah.
I've dislodged it from my shoulder.
All right, we're gonna move into fourth beers because we're in overtime at the moment. So we have to rip through fourth beers. I'm skipping
Let's rip
mine.
through fourth beers.
And then
You're
we're
not
getting
doing
into
fourth.
No, well,
Dan's disappeared, so I guess it's my turn.
I guess it's your turn.
I am having a beer that Kieran, our friend from the Catfish, sent to us the other day in the chat. I'm having the Carl I Am Your Father black IPA from Rocky Ridge. Sorry, Pete, I haven't put the info in the sheet. I can do it.
All good.
I don't get many beers from Rocky Ridge over here, so it's nice to get one of their beers. It is very dank. It is nice and roasty. It is the definition of you want of a black IPA. It's hitting all the notes fantastically. I'm really enjoying it. 6.8%. It's not breaking ground, but it's hitting.
Doesn't
all
need
the
to.
notes. No. It's doing a fantastic job.
Nice.
I'm going to give that a 4.5.
Yeah, cool.
This has been very enjoyable to sip on, and I will happily
continue to sip on it.
Yes, get through the rest of that glass.
Nice. Dan, what are you drinking, mate?
What's your last one?
So I'm drinking the Hawker's, the strawberry ice cream white stout at a just straight 6% again. Bourbon barrel aged. It smells like strawberries and cream.
Does it taste like it?
It does. It smells and tastes like strawberry and cream. Once again, bourbon barrel aged. I think they probably wasted their time and their money putting it in its barrels. If they even did put it in, I'm sure they did. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure they did.
I really would like to know what bourbon they use because that could really change things. Like they used a really shitty bourbon,
but it doesn't have any of that tanniny woodiness to. I guess it's got to get a little bit of dryness to it, but once again, it's very sweet. It smells and tastes like strawberries and cream. It smells and tastes like liquid strawberry ice cream, which is exactly what it's meant to smell and taste like. So, I don't think that one's as distinct as the vanilla caramel. I think it's good, but not as good. So I think it's 3.75 on that one. I mean, they're fun. They're worth having, but they're definitely share cans.
It's the sweetness alone. Like I saw them in the shop yesterday, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
that's not an individual can.
I've probably poured half of these. The vanilla caramel one, I've probably poured a little bit more, but they're 440s. Absolutely no way am I drinking a full can of them. They're share cans. Yeah, too sweet, way too sweet. But well made. They do what they do, other than the bourbon barrel. But
yeah, nice.
Yeah,
got to rip through. Are you winning, son?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go first?
Who's winning?
Dan?
I'm winning.
Tom?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go first because Tom's going to be longer. I haven't actually played that much recently. Been doing other things. So, but I did dive a little bit longer into. I bought Warhammer 40k bolt gun ages ago.
Yeah,
and
cool.
Sort of never really got into it, but jumped into it the same weekend that Al jumped into it.
That's
as
fun.
well.
That's
That's
fun,
the
yeah.
that's the
The
old school
unknown.
graphics modernized, isn't it?
The boomer shooter. Yeah. So
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
2D.
nice.
They're 2D sprites.
Yeah.
So no matter what way you scroll around them,
I think we might have lost Dan.
Have I dropped out?
Yes, it's not me.
Did I drop out?
You're
No.
back up. It's all good.
Okay.
Bolt gun.
Yes, boomer shooter, 2D sprites. No matter what way you scroll around them, they're the same from the same side. It's just fun. It's fast paced. It's less acrobatic than Doom is, but you do still jump and shoot from all angles,
Jump and dash.
Yeah. I think I'm just in that mindset from Doom when it's that fast paced shooter.
Yeah.
The sounds are chunky. The running of the Space Marine is chunky. The clunk 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 of the suit, and the bolter is. I've only gotten 2 or 3 weapons as it is, but still the bolt gun is by far the best. And it just heads explode, and there's blood and guts and giblets, and it's just fun. And
who are you fighting against? Tyranids? Chaos?
You know what? I got absolutely no idea because they all explode far too quickly for me to see what they are.
Come on.
Good.
Come on.
I think there's a couple of those squiddy ones, which are the
Squiddy ones? They're Tyranids.
No Tyranids, are they? There's a couple of them.
Which is what the new game's all about. So
there's a bunch of cultists too that are just, that's kind of where I am at the moment. But and you know what? The sound design
they're
is
chaos. You're fighting against one of the 4 chaos gods, which is the god of pestilence. Which is why you got
sense of their squiddies.
bits. Yep.
And it just the one thing I love about it is it blows my eardrums out. I can turn the volume all the way up on my PC.
Great. I
and
love
it's
that.
so fucking loud. And I haven't played a game that will actually allow me to play it that loud in a long time. So
you're actually fighting all of the chaos bosses. I'm just looking at Warhammer 40k bolt gun, all bosses and enemies, and I can see Angrax, who is a chaos space marine in Terminator armor. I can see I can't remember the pestilence boss, and then you've got Slanesh, the keeper of secrets.
Good old Slanesh. Yeah,
so
classic.
He's the god of change. So he's all psych attacks and Anyway, cool.
It's very good.
It's fun. It feels like Doom mashed up with original Dark Forces,
like old school Doom though. Pixelated and sprite.
Yeah. Oh no. But I mean more the movement because it's really fast.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
Really, really fast. But mashed up with Dark Forces. That's what it kind of feels like.
That chainsaw looks satisfying though.
Yeah, but it's a little hard to use. It's it's not bound to a good key, and you kind of splatter them all before you get that close anyway. So
gotta say, Space Marine did a knock-up job of the chainsaw, and I'm hoping Space Marine 2 does too.
Yeah. Well, that's out soon, so
yeah, it is very soon.
Yeah, but outside of that, I haven't even turned. Like I pulled the HDMI cable out of my PlayStation 5 2 weeks ago to use it, and I haven't plugged it back in. So.
Fair enough.
Yep. So that's me.
Murder someone in my house. They pulled my HDMI cable out of any of my PlayStations. Yeah. Peter, are you winning? Have you had a chance to play anything? You've been so busy, mate.
I haven't turned my PS5 on since I kind of got a little bit bored of Helldivers 2. Thank you for rescuing me there.
I did want to put in the news, but it's Helldivers 2 has seen a 97% player drop.
Yeah, and
I think that was just Steam though.
It would have been Steam,
yeah, but I imagine it's also onto.
I think it just had a half-life. Like, there's nothing. I don't think the game did anything wrong.
Like, sorry, that's very dismissive of a very good game. But it's that kind of like it's a more live service.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't have classified it as a looter shooter, but yeah, it is. I think it just had. You're right. It just had a half-life. People were going to get bored because it was pretty repetitive, and it was interestingly repetitive for a while, and then kind of falls off a cliff.
And also, interestingly, the other live service games that would have seen massive drops because everyone jumped to Helldivers 2 released either new content or a new loot like live service game dropped. So Destiny dropped its last version, the final shape, that dropped a month ago. And then there's another game called The Final Descent, which is a 3-person looter shooter, very similar to Destiny. It's also in a lot of trouble because it's essentially been borrowing a lot of the logos from Destiny. Like people are like comparing them, they are exact copies.
Oh wow!
They're like people are calling out copyright.
Why do people think they're going to get away with shit like that these days?
Know.
It's just this is not the era for trying to just get away with shit.
Be lazy, yeah.
No, the only game I've been playing, like I said before, was Tacticus on mobile, and I got to say, like for somebody who's been stupidly busy lately, it's actually surprisingly good. I haven't played a mobile phone game since that stupid Fallout Dig Dug game where you had the little rooms on your mobile, like it was like a
Fallout Shelter.
Yeah. I haven't played a mobile game since then, and so to be able to collect faction characters, level them up, and then their play style is decidedly different. So you can play as like any of the factions in the real game, and like playing a mission as the orcs is completely different thematically and like in terms of their abilities and the way that they act compared to the Ultramarines. It's totally different. So I've actually been impressed. I haven't played a mobile game forever, and I thought they'd all be shining fucking turds. And this one is less than a shining turd. I wouldn't call it a good game. It's not, it's captured my attention, but that's only because I've got a 5-minute attention span at the moment. So
I'd jump in. My Friday night crew, we've been playing Enshrouded, which is a fantasy world building survival game. There's not too many survival elements to it, but it's a building kind of like Valheim a little bit, but set in a more fantasy world. We've got like a wingman suit that you can glide in and that. So traversal is a lot more fun. But I've got to call it out. Like it didn't grab me for the first few weeks that we were playing it. It was fine. It was fun enough. It was just a gap filler. Pretty graphics, a little bit on that Fortnite side of graphical kind of thing. But the more we got into it, the further we got, there's a good amount of content there, but my God, the size of the world that these people have built, it's a fully voxel world. So our favorite thing is when we can't get to a point, we dig up. So we dig diagonally up through mountainsides to get to our points where we could just probably run around the mountain and find a better way in. But we decide to, the four of us take turns and we dig this enormous passages up through mountains. But it has an enormous undersurface, like subsurface world to it. You find these entrances to caves. You've got to watch yourself as you're running through the world sometimes because you might fall down a mine shaft. There's massive tunnels that look like they've been dug by Shai Hulud himself, and like are the girth and depth of these. And if you go down one, you can go down to this subterranean world that takes you into an enshrouded area, which is a kind of a poisoned area where you have a limited time in it, and pick up certain supplies in the enshrouded area and that. And it's an incredible construction world. Like they've done an incredible world of creating the biomes and the depth and the size to this world. So you got to call them out for that. But it also falls into that PC early access hole where it's not a full game. It's not a complete game done. They're using all of us that want to jump in it now as playtesters, and they're going to hit this point where they're going to want to go full release, and they're going to have quarter the amount of players they had when they went early access 12 months ago, sort of thing. So it'll be interesting how it all plays out once the full release comes out. So, but it's it is fun so far. But we're basically done with it after a couple of weeks, and it hasn't engaged us like Valheim did, and Valheim was early access as well. but there was some absolute beauty to Valheim. Just there was something.
That's the one that's caught my parents. Like they've been playing that since.
I remember you saying that.
Since beta.
Yeah,
and
Valheim has
back.
the secret sauce. Whatever that secret sauce is, they've discovered what that is. Whether it's the feel, the sound design, the
world building, or
the world build, the character evolution, the character growth of it. It's they've got the secret sauce there that a lot of others are trying to capture. Yeah, that side of it.
A lot about the crafting, right?
It definitely is. Yeah, and there's all of these other ones try to capture that as well, but what I find, and it's funny, like I compare the graphics to Fortnite, but they kind of speed a lot of other things up. Like when you start doing the farming in Enshrouded, it takes basically a day to plant a seedling to harvest, kind of thing. So there's something there that is for the short attention span.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my 2 cents on that.
Excellent.
Tom, are you winning? We know you're
I'm always winning.
You're Dwarvish Tank.
We'll get to Dwarf Tank. I'm continuing the Assassin's Creed playthrough. So I finished 3. I finished Liberation. I finished the story of Rogue today. So I've just got to do the cleanup of collectibles and the islands, which is fun. I get to sail around in my ship again and have fun with that.
Singing the sea shanties.
Yeah, it's a lot of sea shanties. It's good. And then the 3 and Liberation were fine. Liberation was a very buggy. The remaster was super buggy version, so it was really frustrating to play.
Have you played Mirage yet?
No. I'm going through. I will get to it.
Chop, because I'm at a point where I'm just about ready to play Mirage.
Well, I'll give you a copy back. I'll drop it off to you. Like, fuck. I'm still going to get through Origins. No,
oh, Jesus.
Unity, Origins, and Valhalla.
Have you played Odyssey?
Yeah, I've done Odyssey.
How can you play Odyssey before Origins? That's just not right.
Because I had Odyssey years before I cared about the Assassin's Creed series.
Do you care now?
Yeah. I can't. I still don't care about the
not enough to get
story.
tattooed on your cuff, though, right?
No. I enjoy the assassinating. I enjoy the parkour aspect. I enjoy the where it is right now, and like in terms of where I'm playing. Like I'm enjoying being kind of back in that Black Flag world. But as I've always said to you, I don't care about the outside story. Like when it brings me to the present, I just couldn't give a rat's fucking ass. I just want to get through those bits as much as possible.
Yeah,
I care more about the historical story than I do.
Yeah. I totally get it, and I've talked about this ad nauseum with Dan. Desmond was engaging as a through line for a story that was set in history, but obviously when you're in the Animus, it's so much more enjoyable than Desmond's story.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where it's back to the Black Flag thing where you're like just the generic Abstergo employee walking around.
Yeah, which I just thought.
Yeah, it was very.
Do you know
weird.
what I mean? Like if you're gonna break me out of the historical,
at least something interesting that I actually care about.
Yeah. Like or a through line that provides a level of continuity between games, and I think that's what's been missing since Desmond is just continuity.
Yeah, I have started compiling, which Pete, I can't wait to read to you when I'm finally done. But I've started compiling a list of my least favorite things about each Assassin's Creed entry as I'm going through, and I think you'll enjoy it once I finally catch up to the series. But on the PS3 front, I did jump back into Lord of the Rings: War in the North.
Mm-hmm.
It's the most interesting thing about that was what we were talking about off air about. Expanding worlds but no content in them kind of thing. Like we were talking about this just in messages about some universes and stuff. So it was a hack and slash game that came out in 2011. Obviously I'm finally finishing it 13 years later, but it's enjoyable enough. It's a nice little parallel story to what happens in the War of the Ring in terms of your 3 characters are the alternate fellowship. Sure. You go off into the north, everyone else goes to the south. Fine. Cool. Tolkien did write about that there were some things that happened in the north during the War of the Ring. He never went into it. He didn't have time. to write all that out. But there is mention of, the Lonely Mountain was besieged during the War of the Ring, but you don't see that in the movies or the books or something. But he wrote it in letters that like, no, definitely during the War of the Ring, they besieged Erebor. You're far north. You're above the Shire. For anyone who knows the map of Middle Earth. So you're north of that. So you visit there. You visit Mirkwood. You visit. You end up at Carn Dûm, which is the keep that the Witch King had.
Yes.
In the Kingdom of Angmar when they took over Arnor. I could go real deep into some Lord of the Rings all right now, but I'm not going to do that. But what we were talking about in terms of when someone else writes a story from a well-established lore, this is one of the best examples of how to do it wrong. So I played through my last playthrough of it because you have to do it 3 times. You have to play through each level, each difficulty level.
God.
I played through my last playthrough as the dwarf. So I'm a dwarf from Erebor. I'm Farron. I'm this big champion. Like I'm the tank. I eventually get a explosive crossbow, which is unbeatable. So unbeatable. It's so dumb. But
There's
in terms
fun
of like
in that though.
There is fun when you've slogged through.
You broke the game.
Yeah, but
That's
I slogged through a hard playthrough. Like I did a hard playthrough, so I felt the accomplishment of doing it. But the problem for me was they try to be so lawful. Yeah, let's use lawful as the word.
Okay.
LORE
full. Yes.
Yeah, and knowing, but then they have a dwarf from Erebor who is talking to his northern cousins. And he doesn't know about their entire dwarf kingdom because they're trying to explain it to Joe Blow, who's never read any expanded Lord of the Ringsness. So someone stop sending messages, whatever you're doing. But
hey, you asked me to put it in the AI art generator, all right? So I did.
About fucking time. I asked you 3 weeks ago.
It'll be.
But yeah, this is the thing. It's just like
I'll post that as the Instagram artwork. I will put him in the Instagram artwork.
Yeah. So eventually, I created the. So long story short, I created this dwarf tank where I could just shoot this explosive bolt and kill anyone. Like the end game boss. This is how much I was ready to show you guys how much I did. I put my phone between my knees, put my legs up on the desk, so I could film my PS3 while I was fighting the last boss.
I was wondering where that was going.
Because I killed him in 3 shots. I shouldn't be able to kill an endgame boss on the hardest difficulty in 3 shots, but that's how overpowered I made this explosive shot. But I think the thing that just really lost me,
motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the dexterity was through the roof. But the thing was, it was just for a game that was trying to be like, hey, we know the lore and we're expanding on the existing lore of the movies and everything, and then they were just the most like. This dwarf being like, what do you mean there's a kingdom of northern dwarves? And it's like, Northernbad is known. Like, everyone knows where it is. It's just like, it was so explanatory for the generic gamer that it killed any of the story elements. But I ended up, I played through it again. I had to play online with 3 guys on a PS3, which I didn't think I'd ever be able to do, but we did it and it was actually very fun. It was very wholesome. Us trying to get this like one particular thing, and I was coaching a dude from Canada who lived in London and a dude in Texas at the same time on how to play the game because they're like, we just picked it up, like we don't know what we're doing, and I was like, let's go, guys. I'm the dwarf, by the way. I'm the dwarf because I am the most powerful, and yeah. So it's been fun. It's been great, but it made it, and you'll both love this. It really made me miss playing Red Dead, so I'm very happy to jump back into Red Dead now.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I am winning. It's been great. And I can't wait to give you my list of the worst things from each Assassin's Creed game, Pete, because I really want to see your reaction to every point. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I've got a challenge for Dan. Next time you're looking for a Steam game, and I don't know if it's multiplayer. I hope it is. It's an old school Steam game called The Legend of Grimrock.
Yeah.
Have you played it?
Grimrock. I haven't played it, but I know it. Yeah.
Oh, you should play it. If it's
throwing out challenges again. Oh,
if it's
dangerous territory.
It's not multiplayer. It's all single player.
Yeah. Okay. It's like if you Yeah, it's right up your alley. It's right up our alley, frankly. But if you don't look up game guides, if you sit down and figure out what the fucking puzzles are, they're probably some of the most engaging puzzles I've played in a game in 20 years, since like the old school 80s, 90s games on Amiga.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Tom, I hope it captures your imagination. Like, it'll be one of those games you'll look at the trailer or the gameplay trailer and say 100% I'm in or 100% not for me. And I'm not actually sure where you fall on that spectrum.
Oh, send me the link and I'll see if my laptop can load it.
So it's a 2012 game. I'm pretty sure you'd be fine.
I can probably run that on
on your mobile.
I saw a thing today that Doom is now running on a Fleshlight, so I think I can probably run this game on.
I've got the BFG 9000.
Oh, just imagine what the inputs are for that.
Oh, yeah, really don't want to. Thank you. All right, I think on that
penis.
On that, yeah, the input is the penis.
So there's your episode title: Doom on a Fleshlight? ?
All right, I think that's it for us.
Thank you everybody for listening to our bullshit.
Yes, thank you. Bye.